Welcome back to the Opposition Podcast. I know you've been watching us. I know what you've seen. You've seen Rukshan doing absolutely nothing for 10 minutes and me putting in the work, sharing it across platforms. Something you guys should do as well, because we are only as popular as you make it. And it's really hard with Rukshan. The entire world hates him now. Since India and Pakistan went to war, things have changed.
Things have changed. Look, guys, don't worry. There's no nuclear fallout as of now from that conflict. But no, I've actually automated everything, Avi. So AI is doing a lot of my work. So while you're working there, I've got the AI working away in the background. So there's something in that. And the other thing was, how cool is this background? If people can see, we got the trams moving and a picture of you and me in the corner. It's a bit of an upgrade. What's going on here?
Yeah, we're investing in the show because people are investing in us. Speaking of investments, guys, get involved in the show. Go to our super chats on YouTube. It's on mine, Rukshan's, and even Joel's now YouTube. So if you want to support us, throw in a super chat. We're going to read all the super chats. So it's a way to get your message on the screen. There's a special spot there. And we'll also read it out. And it helps us fund what we're doing, our work. So thanks for all the support in advance. And I want to give 100%. A shout out to Benji for the new look, because he actually he
Benji, did some work. Finally,
he went and finally did something and filmed for us this new backdrop, which I'm really, really loving. We've got
it's very iconic.
A packed night tonight. We have our guest host that's going to join us whenever he wants, because that's how he works. Joel, welcome.
Lebo time.
Welcome to the show, mate. How you doing?
Once a week, mate. I'm really good, because you know what? Ever since this war kicked off with Pakistan and India, my scam calls have stopped, and I'm just enjoying the peace of mind.
We've been very busy, man. We've been very busy. No time to do scam calls now, bro. We're very busy with other stuff. So,
whose side were you on, Rukshan?
Busy week.
Whose side were you on?
Whose side? Well, because we're Sri Lankan, we can be neutral. So it's like, being in the middle of siblings fighting, and you kind of just be neutral and play all sides. But look, at the end of the day, you don't want to take sides against the people. There are innocent on both sides. This is a historic conflict that, I
don't want your diplomatic answer. Who were you rooting for, Rukshan? Like, you weren't sitting there going, "Oh, tell her." When my brothers fight, I'm rooting for one of my brothers, 100%. Who were you rooting for?
This is the thing. All right, I wasn't rooting for anyone, but I was not glad. But they need to have that fight for that tension release in the area, and I think Trump, the U.S. administration, knew that, and they let them bomb each other a little bit. I know it sounds a bit macabre, but sometimes you need to have that tension release for that area for political reasons, and I think a lot of that has happened now. So hopefully now the diplomacy comes in and things appear to be cooling down, even though they try to be blaming each other. So as a sibling that's watching two brothers fighting, it's one of those occasions where they just need to get it out of their system, and it'll happen again, of course.
Joel, which one of Rukshan's family were you supporting?
Mate, as long as they don't come to Australia and they just keep their little fight over there, I'm happy. I just,
I was 100% India. I was on India's side. I support your Indian half, mate.
Which, mate, as long as they stay in the borders that Gandhi basically graced them with, and they just stay there, I'm happy.
Whoever's fighting jihadis, I am on the other side. I'm anti the jihadis.
There is that for sure.
Anyways, guys, we're not talking about India and Pakistan, but it's hard not to when you have Rukshan. Like I just don't know where I stand when nuclear war is about to kick off between Rukshan 1 and Rukshan 2. It's hard. Packed show. Look, we're going to get straight into it. We've got, obviously, the Gossip Girls conversation that we're going to get into. That's what people are coming here tonight for. There is civil war on the woke left. But before we get into that, I want to touch a couple of things, some of the headlines that are making news today. Let's start with this little nugget. Long-time Australian MP quits toxic Greens citing bullying. Did you hear about this, guys?
Yeah. South Australia.
I feel like every couple of months you hear about an incident involving the Greens and bullying. It's a party that's becoming synonymous with bullying, and their own members coming out.
this is a great point that somebody made. I don't know who this person is, but it's in the Rebel News article where he points out all the times that somebody's quit due to the toxic bullying culture within the Greens, and not, whether it's staff or other candidates. Thorpe, the irony, Thorpe's leaving because of bullying. But they have a candidate and 2 senators that have previously, so that makes it 4 now, that have quit during all citing bullying. Isn't it weird that the party of tolerance seems to have a problem of intolerant culture?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that stems from the top. If you guys saw Adam Bandt's speech where he's conceding defeat in Melbourne, you can see how he attacked Peter Dutton during that speech. And I thought it was uncalled for, unnecessary. And I think it just goes to this kind of very vindictive nature of the Greens. And I think there is a culture where you have to do things in a certain way. Otherwise, they will attack you from within. It's like a virus. If you're in there and you have any kind of independent thoughts which don't match with their ethos, they will attack their members. So I think that's what's coming through here. And some people, quite frankly, are fed up with it. And this MP from South Australia this time has just said, no. They've actually waited till the end of the election and given them a bit of good press. But yeah, they've just walked off the job, and we're seeing that more and more often. And this is from the same Greens, like you said, Abbie, Adam Bandt, he's talking about the workplace all the time, workplace bullying, trying to give workers more time and not have people calling them after work hours and all these things. And you're seeing the treatment that they're suffering, some of the people that work there.
But that's generally the theme that you find with the woke left. It's all, and politicians in general, they never practice what they preach, whether it's climate change or tolerance or whatever. They are always what they accuse everyone else of. And I think it's an appropriate time to read this super chat. Go for it, Rukshan. That's your job.
Yeah, give me a second. It's a bit too small on my screen, so let me just make it a bit larger. Pull it up.
Get glasses.
This is from a Shooter Down Under. A message to Adam Bandt and the Greens from the Yarra to the sea. Melbourne will be free. Oh, there you go.
I think that's
one of your lines.
It is one of my lines. Thank you, Shooter Down Under, for that super chat. And as we go through the night, we'll head back through to super chat so we don't get stuck with them all at the end, and so you guys can hear us reading them through.
Can I just say on the Greens, an update on that, guys? It's appearing as though in Queensland, the final seat for Ryan, it seems as though that's going to be the sole seat in the lower house that the Greens retain. But
I was really hoping they wouldn't even get that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people felt that way. But it just seems like they've just come in by the whiskers of their unshaven moustache, this woman.
Yeah.
Have you seen our new T-shirt here at Rebel Store? Do you see it? Can you see it?
Let me just zoom in.
Let me. I'll bring it up. Throw out Green's waste.
Throw out the green waste. That's good.
Throw out green waste.
And you can see it's got a little Greens logo. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go, guys. So for anyone that wants it, the link is below, rebelstore.com.au. You can even get one of these T-shirts as well. Do you like my little the floating rebelstore.com.au I got going there now?
I know. It's all
fancy
very
now, mate.
fancy now. It's very fancy.
We're not playing around anymore. I know the games that you're used to. When you were in charge of the technology in this thing, things were pretty average. I'm not going to lie.
Mate, all this, everything you're seeing, guys, every single thing you're seeing, even though Avi's put a lot of effort into making it all happen, it's all the technical support provided by myself. And all this technical support was provided during the conflict between India and Pakistan. So you got to see, he gets #1 top tier gold star technical service and support.
I've got to say, it is so true. And Rukshan's got this amazing ability, like probably 2 billion other Muslims and potentially Pakistanis. That's the Indians that are known for this. I literally call him and I go, because I'm not really I'm not a tech guy, but Rukshan's a natural, like born tech guy. That's why, like, I'm not even joking. I call him, I'm like, I can't get, and I just describe some obscure problem on the computer. Rukshan talks me step by step without even looking at his computer at this weird problem that he tells me he's never even had, but he knows how to fix.
That's what it is,
Is
man.
Rummy like that, Joel? Is Rummy your tech guy?
Mate, I have a few people. It's not Rami for tech stuff. It's but another Arab guy, and but yeah,
he's not as good as Rukshan.
Right? Yeah, also Syrian. Yeah, I won't name him, but yeah,
he's not as good as Rukshan. That's for sure.
They have another specialty. They have another specialty in the another area department that we can't talk about online.
What's that super chat?
There you
G'day,
go.
Avi and Rukshan from Queensland. Only Mel Brooks has better jokes than Avi.
Is that a dig at me, or is that is Mel Brooks? Who's Mel Brooks?
I'd say it might be, but
it's not the actor.
Brett, chuck in another $5 to let us know whether you're joking or not. Thank you.
I'm excited. We got our first super chat from me for $2, and I'm 100% sure it's a troll, but it's hilarious anyway.
We'll take it.
Which one was it? What was the name? And I'll.
It's the one with Pepe the Frog, called Bullet Head 19.
Yeah, I've got it here. There you go. You want to read your super chat out?
Yeah, he said, "How does One Nation drop its racist reputation? Not its racism reputation."
You know what? It's a good question because
that's a serious question.
I actually think that I think they naturally are. To be honest, I don't know if they're trolling or not, but if you look at this election and you talk to the average person. And I can tell you anecdotally that the average person does not have the same connotation that One Nation even had only 3 years ago. There is a massive shift. And I do think that since October 7th, things in that realm have changed. And the fact that even the Liberal Party felt comfortable enough for the first time to preference One Nation over Labor, which they've always crazily put One Nation behind even, I think maybe they put the Greens after them, but I don't even think that. I think they put.
It's happened. Yeah,
I think they put the Greens before One Nation. Like it was that crazy, and finally, the Liberal Party. It took a year and a half or 19 months of the kind of hate and racism from the left that the Liberal Party finally realised that One Nation is not the enemy, and I think it's a broader thing. I think the whole. I think the public has realised that. And speaking of the Liberal Party, let's get into because I know everyone's dying to get into the woke war, but before we hit that, I just want to touch some of the serious news from today. The Liberal Party has a new leader. Let's just listen to a second or a minute of Sussan Ley, the new Liberal Party leader. This is the press conference after it was just announced.
Oh, they're just oozing masculinity and competency, aren't they?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. It is an enormous privilege to have been elected the leader of the Parliamentary Liberal Party. I am humbled, I am honoured, and I am up for the job.
Okay, she's up for the job. What do you say to that, Joel? Do you reckon she's up for the job? And I love the way she moved her head, like it was like whatever that was. Is she up for the job?
I got so much to say on this, Sussan Ley.
I've got a few of your things up here. You did like
I
asked you to tell me how you feel, and you just went like,
mate, absolute factional hack. I mean, this, whatever the leader of the party believes becomes her belief, just out of self-preservation, just out of a sheer instinct of survival. She has no values. She's literally, how do I climb the greasy ladder? And now she is the one that's actually in control. It's like, what do you believe? And I'll tell you what she believes. She is like a Malcolm Turnbull. This is a lady that was probably very excited about same-sex marriage being passed years ago, 2017. She's someone that was totally for the video of my bishop being censored online. She's someone that very much is, supports the e-safety commissioner. She supports censorship of X and Elon Musk. She supports digital ID. She's totally against the interests of, this sort of movement that's been born out of COVID. And so, like, this is a bad news candidate for the Liberals. Like, this is, some would say, the death knell for the Liberals. Back when my bishop was stabbed a year ago and that video was up, she was one of the ones that was pushing to get it taken down. I do believe at one point she even said, and I'm trying to find the source for this, but I remember watching on Sky News, she said that she might even help provide the votes to Labor to pass a bill to censor Twitter in order to actually censor that video online. And that tells you everything you need to know about this woman. This particular article that's up now is where Peter Dutton, when he finally found his spine, what happened was the Bishop Murray came out and said, look, I'm happy for the truth to be out there. I'm happy for this video of me being stabbed being out there because we've got to support the truth. Peter Dutton then found his spine and he backed Elon Musk, contradicting what Sussan Ley had said. And he actually backed the video staying up. And he said, look, we're not going to back Anthony Albanese's bill to basically go after Twitter. And we all know how that ended. Elon Musk won in court. Bishop Murray provided a signed affidavit to the court saying, I support Elon Musk, I support this video staying up. And basically that's how we routed the enemy. Later on in the year, the misinformation bill came up and we managed to vote it down. The Liberals found their spine. But there was a moment there, and this is my point about Sussan Ley, there was a moment there where we saw that she was proud that we were censoring the internet in the name of safety of children. Forget the fact that you can put, child mode on for different social media sites. She is an absolute authoritarian if she's given power, and I do not trust her as far as I could throw her.
X is vowing to fight on, Elon Musk vowing to fight on with vision that it wants to remain up on the social media platform. This is what you're talking about. Are you for that or against it?
I'm for X obeying the law, and I'm not for the actions and the statements of our e-safety commissioner being ignored. We back her 100%. In government, we introduced the Online Safety Act. We want to see age verification tools put in place to prevent young people accessing both sinister and also really awful images on the net. And the government needs to progress that. They, for some reason, have stepped back from that age verification. But politicians, I think, are united in being very, very concerned about what our young people see online. And for some young people, there's no problem and they can accept the context in which they see something. But for others who are vulnerable, it simply is not... It's not safe. And so I'm really disappointed with the approach that Elon Musk and the way he's taken over this company. And it's just a free-for-all, and it's not fair and it's not right.
Yeah, that's true.
We are doomed.
And just so you know, guys, I looked at what David Littleproud said on the exact same issue. Mate, same thing. He's like, he's got doublespeak. He's like, oh yeah, we've got to support freedom of speech. And we've got to, apply some common sense here. But at the same time, he's also calling for the censorship of that sort of stuff. And this is the thing. It's like, guys, if we make legislation on this, this is where it's going. So look, the Nationals didn't vote for Matt Canavan, Senator Matt Canavan being someone that called out the AstraZeneca vaccine very early on. He called out the censorship of this video online. He said, look, what does the church think? What does the bishop think? I think we should hear what he actually thinks on the matter. But unfortunately, Matt Canavan failed to win the national spot. What's this, Avi?
Just a lot of Australians agreeing that when the news broke that Australia officially has two Labor parties with no opposition, and that's officially that's where we are. I think we are at a point where there is no opposition, and there was barely an opposition before this election. This is not going to end with the Liberal Party winning an election. In fact, my prediction is she's no way going to even be put up to run in the next election. I think they're going to have an internal fight again sometime soon when they realise, I guess when internally, where they get frustrated that the race to the, who can be more Labor is not winning them anything, not garnering any support from the public. The problem with this election is not that they were too right, too Trumpian, too anything, too Nigel Farage. The problem is they weren't. They didn't stand on principle. The problem is that they're supporting the e-safety commissioner, whose entire worldview is to shut them down, is to ensure that Conservatives never get into power. That is the e-safety commissioner's actual mission statement. And these people, either they don't care. I truly don't know if they don't realize what's happening or they don't care. Like they're kind of, I hate the term because everybody throws it around, but a form of controlled opposition. They just care about having their role in their place and being the boss of their little bubble, and their politics is actually a form of Labor. But they're never going to become the Prime Minister. They're never going to become the leaders of Labor Party. So they go, okay, you know what? At least we'll control the opposition. And it's almost, I know that term gets thrown around a lot, and I know it because it generally gets thrown at Rukshan because of his show, the name of this show, the Opposition Podcast. But truly, it's just, to me, it's mind-boggling that we're here.
Yeah, it is mind-boggling. It feels like they haven't really done any kind of, reaching out to the public, check the public mood. Because if you check online, at least, there's a lot of disgruntlement around this appointment of Sussan Ley as a leader. So they might not be doing any focus groups, or even if they are, they just completely ignore it. And they've ignored the biggest one, which is the results of this election. So it looks like they just keep making the same mistakes. I do want to say she reminds me a little bit of, I know you said Turnbull, Joel, earlier, but she reminds me of more of like a cross between an Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, and like a Hillary Clinton in terms of the way that she carries herself. So, yeah. But there's something missing there for her as a leader, I believe, and I don't think it's because she's, some people are saying, it's because she's a woman, and people are attacking because she's like the first liberal leader of the first female leader of the Liberal Party, and they can't handle it, a woman being their leader, and all this kind of nonsense, right? I don't think it's that.
I just voted Pauline Hanson, like.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just she's missing something that you see as a leadership quality, and I don't think it, like Avi said, that she'll last up until the election. And even if she does, she's going to struggle, because I don't think she can, get all the troops behind her. There's going to be a lot of disunity in the party going forward with her at the helm, because when it comes to major issues where you need to have a point of differentiation from the Labour Party, I don't think that someone like Sussan Ley will be able to offer that, because that's just not in her nature. Yeah. And all these examples that we've seen today just shows you she just kind of goes with the very neutral, even left-wing position on things, which are very, as a conservative, perhaps as right-leaning, there is a position to take, but she ignores that position completely and just goes with whatever she believes the public wants, which is more left-leaning.
You must be watching Abbie Chatsfield, because you picked up on her story today. So I was actually looking, because in the lead up to this, obviously I got the videos. We're gonna go through the storyline and the videos of that the woke civil war happening right now in Australia on the left. But so I went both. Actually, I couldn't go to Clementine Ford because she's blocked every single account of mine. She tends to do that with the Juden. She doesn't like the Juden much. But Rukshan went to search and couldn't find. There wasn't anything kind of really related. Fresh. But what was interesting is Abbie Chatsfield had this up, and I guess this is the segue.
She said, I can read it out if you want, because I can see it. The glass cliff, they're calling it. They're giving her a poisoned chalice to prove that women can't lead the party. So already from the start, they're saying, look, she's going to fail, so she's going to need 6 years to succeed. And I'm just like, hey. Tony Abbott didn't need that long. I mean, Tony Abbott basically, he turned around a massive Labor situation. He had one of the biggest wins in history. So look, if you articulate what you truly believe to the Australian people, then you'll get what you deserve. But the problem with Sussan Ley is we don't know what she believes. She's climbed the greasy pole for years, and just to survive. And that's the problem with the Liberal Party. And this is partly the problem with New South Wales, obviously Sussan Ley being a New South Wales member of Parliament, I do believe. New South Wales is stacked by people that have money in the renewable industry. The only way you get pre-selected to be a Liberal candidate is if you get the nod from certain people with money that actually have money in the renewable industry. That's why if you have an opposition, the Liberal Party, that are pre-selecting candidates that believe in net zero, and you also have the Labor Party that have candidates that believe in net zero, you can't lose. You're going to get subsidies. Your companies are going to make a lot of money. That's the problem we've got with the Liberal Party in New South Wales. And when members try to speak up, like they did in the last election, you get captain's picks. They burned the Liberal Party constitution. The Liberal Party constitution last election, we found out with Matt Camanzuli in 2022, he tried to take the party to court. And the court said it's not justiciable, i.e., the judges won't get involved in a party matter. That means that the party is a law unto itself. And so they did 13 captains' picks. They didn't listen to the members in 13 areas. They picked 13 women. And guess how many lost? 12 out of the 13. That's the problem with the Liberal Party in New South Wales.
Joel, I was going to say just a little, a part of this whole discussion, what do you think about the moves that Jacinta Price has been making? Because I know we discussed her last couple of weeks about being but she's in the Senate, obviously, but a potential kind of leadership material for the Liberal Party. And she's perhaps, if you look at two women, I see her more in the leadership vein as someone who has that kind of gravitas and presence as a leader for the Liberal Party in the things that she believes in. What do you think about what's been happening around Jacinta Price and, her defection, I guess, from the Nationals to the Liberals and all this kind of stuff that's going on? What are your thoughts?
Mate, it's a mess. I can't begin to tell you how much of a mess it is. Let's be clear about who Jacinta Price is. She's one of us, but she is getting outplayed by factional hacks in the Liberals. She's actually, her and her husband are spear throwers from the COVID era. They are absolutely with us. But whoever is advising her on political strategy is nuts. And clearly what's happened is she left the Nationals because she thought she was going to win the deputy prime ministership. Someone advised her that, oh yeah, we got the numbers. The amount of people I've heard that said we have the numbers and then they don't, they thought that Angus Taylor was going to win that. And they didn't. And therefore, that's why she pulled out of that last minute and that leadership competition to be the deputy. And clearly what's happened is the numbers aren't there. Now she's stuck. Basically, she was used to get Angus Taylor one extra vote, essentially. And so, mate, I don't trust these Liberal people as far as I can throw them. They are so untrustworthy and they use and abuse good people. Now, how the hell is Jacinta going to get elected again? She's going to have to run for like New South Wales or some other state. She can't run for the Northern Territory again. Yeah, she can't win a lower house seat in the Northern Territory for the Country Liberal Party. That's a national area. She left that party. And she can't run for the senator in the Northern Territory unless the Liberals and Nationals renegotiate.
And go back.
Mate, she's stuffed. Whoever advised her to do
Can't
that.
She go back?
She's totally stuffed it.
I thought it was in the Country Liberals mandate of the Constitution or whatever for the Country Liberals that they can change. Is that true? Is that,
mate? If you think Jacinta Price is going to jump back to the Nationals, I got a bridge to sell you in Sydney. It's not happening.
Why wouldn't she? If she did it for the vote, why wouldn't she? If she can,
mate, I don't think she will jump back to the Nationals. I think her pride. And look, if I was her, I wouldn't do it either. Jump
why
back.
Not? If everyone knows, I agree with your assessment. It seems like what you're saying is true. Why wouldn't she just jump back at the time, just before the election or whatever, pre-selection, whatever she needs to do to jump back? What's the problem?
I'm reminded of a few historical examples. It's like you shouldn't trust someone that has just jumped from another party because it's like, well, then how do we know you're going to be loyal to us? But
this is not jumping between rival right-wing minor parties. This is jumping between the coalition, and everybody knows it was all just a political play in the hope. And I'd say that most of the people in Nationals would love for her to be deputy, I guess. I'm assuming. Maybe not.
Look, Canavan, and this is what struck me.
He got a bit
strange.
upset about that.
Canavan was very upset, and I was trying to understand why.
Because he wanted the numbers. He needed her number in his vote.
100%. Yep. That was my read on the situation. And the idea that the Nationals, who, by the way, have similarly been... The Nationals aren't conservative. They are not conservative. These are the guys that pushed abortion in New South Wales. They're the same people that said no to former Deputy Prime Minister John Anderson when he ran for a senatorship in New South Wales. The Nationals are just as left, guys. Don't let them fool you. They might say, oh yeah, we came out on The Voice early. Complete bull crap. That was just because One Nation came out and they put your feet to the fire. The Nationals are full of crap. And the problem is, when you look at Jacinta Price, if you don't think these factional hacks in the Nationals are going to allow her back in and give her a senatorship after what she just pulled, I've got a bridge to sell you. And that's the problem, guys. And Jacinta Price is one of us. She's a really, really good person. And the left very much want to go for her because they have never forgiven her, especially for killing the voice. The lefties in Labor and the Greens. And that's why on election night we saw that ABC journalist go for her throat, make Australia great again. And that's the thing. So look, Jacinta Price, if a new party pops up in the next few years, I mean, my unsolicited advice is jump to that, because the Liberals and the Nationals are gone. Sussan Ley's going to lose you 2028. This isn't, rocket science. This party is a losing party. They're Labor light. It's exactly what happened to the Victorian Liberal Party in 2022.
Read this super chat. Let's do a couple of super chats quickly before we move into the segment of
from
Mean Girls.
Giovanni. Giovanni, of course, he's one of the consistent contributors with the super chat. Giovanni, thank you. And he says, for the grift, busy now, we'll catch up later. Avi will be very happy with that. He will take it.
You know what, guys? Join the grift. Super chat away. Let's just read these couple that are here so we don't fall behind. We've got this. Looks like one for you.
DMAC says Rukshan should classify as an Australian treasure. DMAC has got his head switched on the correct way. I think he's an outstanding individual and he knows exactly what the truth is. Thanks, DMAC.
I'm not sure about that DMAC fella. Seems a bit sus. Is that your other profile? Like you're borrowing one of what was his name? Senator Madman Babette.
Here we go. Mate, this Brett Norman's coming up with all the zingers. Just keep up the great work, Joel. Avi wishes he had that ethnic brow.
I want to set the record straight here. I want to set the record straight here, Mr. Brett. Thank you very much. I paid good money for something called laser hair removal. Something that they haven't created to the kind of strength that Joel Jamal will need. With him, they would need some sort of
the
weapon.
Death Star laser.
And I used to have one brow. Thank you very much. And I fought. Get off my screen now.
Moses parted these eyebrows.
That's a good one.
We just have a super chat from Sam. Thank you, Sam.
Cheers, Sam.
I told you guys, I offered Dutton an eyebrow transplant. They didn't take it off me. I reckon we would have got him at least 5-10%,
Look, Brett, Rukshan got a beer. You got an eyebrow. Rukshan got a beer from Brett.
Cheers, mate. Oh, clearly he doesn't like you, Brett. So let's see if he gives something to you later on.
Let's see. Thanks, what has he got? So, he's got heaps. No, Brett. Thank you. I like Brett now. Avi never. because he was saying that I didn't know who Mel Brooks was. I did have a quick search. He's he's actually a comedian that I'm going to go watch after, and then I'll be the judge of whether he's as funny as me. But thanks for the super chat, Brett. Let's just read the catch up on these couple here.
Turnbull in a skirt.
I don't think you need to say the skirt part. We get it when you just say Turnbull. Yeah. Clementine, see you next Tuesday. I don't know what you mean. That's very kosher. Thanks for all the super chats there. I guess Brett had a quick question for Joel. Can't she get a parachute seat? I'd say she probably. I don't know. You're giving up a bit early. If I had to guess, she'll find a way to run again. I just don't see her. I think that was a political play.
No, but hang on. Where?
I don't know.
Where's she going to run?
I dare say if she can, she's going to jump back to the Nationals, and the Nationals want the numbers, and they'll take her. She's going to win her seat.
Let's see how the Nationals and the Liberals renegotiate their relationship, because that is a bit of a complicating factor. The fact that she's just jumped across, and the Nationals are not going to be happy. They're going to have to negotiate how she runs in the future, and there's a version of this where the Liberals under Sussan Ley throw Jacinta under the bus. They see her as a threat. People need to understand it's not about winning. It's often about taking those people in your party out that are from the Conservative faction.
The factions. Yeah.
And if that means losing an election, they will do it. They will lose an election.
All right, we'll continue super chats after. I just wanted to get, firstly, your take, Rukshan, on this particular. This was my segue into the war.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of these kind of comments from people who are Labour or Greens or left supporters discussing this, that they're calling the glass cliff, not the glass ceiling, where the woman kind of ascends and breaks through that herself. She's been placed there by the men to I guess throw her to the wolves type thing. So again,
isn't it the most sexist thing though? Like,
yeah,
if a man
exactly.
had said you're basically saying she's doomed to fail, which I happen to agree, not because she's a woman, but because she sucks. The fact that you're saying that, you're the one making it that they're putting her there as a woman to, like, you're saying she sucks because she's a woman. That's what I'm reading. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Yeah. What do you think?
No, I think it's like, for me personally, as a man, I think it's an achievement that she's made it all the way there to the leadership of the Liberal Party, and she's the first one, and like that's a big deal. But of course, the women on the left, like you said, can't see it in those exact terms. They see it as some sort of flaw that this has happened. That, the Liberals, they put her there because they don't like her that she's a woman, and they want her to, go down for it, and prove to the world that women aren't capable. Like, that's their whole stick when it comes to this. It's just insane. And like you said, Avi, the reason we don't like her is nothing to do with the fact she's a woman. It's just the way that she carries herself and her policies. It has nothing to do with her sex whatsoever. That doesn't come into it. And Joel, you made a great point about how many people support someone like Pauline Hanson or Jacinta Price. We see them as very effective leaders that stand for what they believe in. It's just Sussan Ley just doesn't come across that as that whatsoever.
You can't please these clowns. If we didn't pick Sussan Ley, you're sexist. If we do pick Sussan Ley, you're sexist. Yeah. Like, can you please just pick one thing on the menu, for God's sake? It's just, these people are nuts.
Look, the feminists have definitely, over the last couple of years, have really exposed themselves for what they really are, and that's why this was the segue into the battle of the insane, because they are actually insane, and like you say, Joel, you just can't win with them, right? I think it's important to understand the feud that's unfolding now quite publicly, and I think there's a few things happening at the same time. So I think there's someone good that breaks it down, a friend of mine that breaks it down pretty well. And then we'll watch.
Wait. Before you start, Avi, also, I think there might be people that don't know who these people are. I mean, we know who they are, but I think we just need to give people a bit of a clarification of who each of these protagonists in their own right are, and how it's all come to this. Because this is kind of like a Gossip Girl session. I want to say this for the people watching. I look at something like this and I was shaking my head. Avi loves it. I think, these people, why give them more oxygen? But, it is politically relevant in a way, because they are a part of the kind of that sphere of feminist left-wing nutcase politics that we see sometimes in Australia. But Joel, if you want to do the honor of...
hold on, let's start. Who are we starting with? Abbie Chatfield?
Sure. So generally, Abbie Chatfield, I do believe she got famous on one of those dating sites. What was it? The Bachelor or the Bachelorette? I think it was the Bachelor. And there's a lot of hilarious scenes on there where this guy introduces himself to her as an astrophysicist, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a Pisces," or what? Like, she's a special human being. And with all love and respect, Abbie. And then the second one is a Clementine Ford, who's she writes articles. She's a feminist writer. She's an absolute bully. I probably know more about her being a bully than Abbie. The amount of time she's gone after people like Jane Agreriton, and then Jane Agreriton's sued her. Yeah. And Clementine is an absolute fool and an absolute bully with all of this.
I'd say they're both pretty similar in the way that I've watched enough of both of them on social media to see that they both guide their followers and their fans to target their political opponent. And who that is, it's so men generally. You remember, Clementine Ford is probably Australia's most notorious.
Well, she says kill all men. That was
feminist who infamously signed the book Kill All Men. And it's all a bit of a joke when she does stuff like that. But if a man says something slightly mean online. She doxes them. In fact, in the last couple of years, she got into a bit of trouble for doxing. She's had a few legal battles as well. She is a piece of work, Clementine Ford. But Abbie Chatfield plays in that same space, that same game. She is a bully in herself. And so this is really cool side. He's basically broken down the history of this battle. And he says when they eat their own, Clementine Ford versus Abbie Chatfield. So this is a bit of the background of it. He explains what you're saying. She was on The Bachelor Australia. And so naturally in Australia, she becomes some sort of like celebrity. That's kind of like, that's what people do in Australia. Like people
literally, you don't get famous unless you have
married at first sight.
Married at first sight. Like they join these things just for the clout. So what'd you say?
Nothing. I just said, look, you've got to make a sex tape in order to be made famous. It seems in 2021, you know.
But there's a bunch of reality TV shows in Australia which are designed specifically people that join. In fact, Married at First Sight this year, it was revealed that they literally they picked the people that they thought were the most fame hungry, people looking for clout. And to be honest, there's a couple of funny characters that come through there that do have a natural ability, and then there's a bunch of lunatics. Abbie Chatfield's one of them. So, like, when you talk about people that just bully and hate for nothing, Abbie Chatfield is one of them. That after October 7th, she announced on her platform, she's on her podcast that's really big on the tolerant left. It's a huge podcast on the so-called tolerant left, where she said she's not going to platform a Zionist. Meaning she wasn't going to talk to any Jews. She platformed a bunch of people that were anti-Israel, but she wouldn't even talk to somebody from the opposing side and demonize and dehumanize them. That's what she did the entire time, which is important to remember, because when you watch her meltdown and put that into context of her own behavior, I think it's important to remember. So this is some of the stuff. This is how it started. Abbie Chatfield, in the lead up to the election, and I'll be honest, I think Clementine Ford is jealous of Abbie Chatfield's reach.
Oh,
I say that straight up, because you got to look at Clementine Ford. Clementine Ford she used to be like a mainstream writer for the Sydney Morning Herald for a long time, I'm pretty sure, for years. She got booted at the end once she became too crazy even for the loony left. But, she has a following of... I guess
it's substantial. For someone
it's a substantial far left, but more feminist, like new wave feminism or whatever they call themselves. Man hating. She's like the poster girl for man hating feminists in Australia at the moment, and she's been doing it for a long time. Then you have Abbie Chatfield, who came along and was on some reality TV show, who came off as an idiot. And then grew her platform off the back of feminism and the same things. Yeah. She was copying a lot of Clementine Ford's stuff. And when it was feminism, and then came the whole October 7th thing, and Clementine Ford pivoted from the Me Too movement. It was like, believe all women unless they're Jewish, and it became her whole feed became all about Palestine and Israel, Gaza, and even though she has zero, it's kind of the woke thing where it became her identity, and so did Abbie. Abbie went the same way, and every second post is about a genocide. Everything and these are the people that, like, whether you agree with any of their politics in it, the irony that the people that for years have been condemning men for microaggressions and you can rape with your eyes or whatever, suddenly we're excusing actual rape, real violence against women. They suddenly, it was not believe all women, it was believe all women except for so Clementine Ford was clearly building up resentment, which would have built up over years because of the reasons we just mentioned. She just saw this this person who just took her position.
Yeah, I mean, Abbie had more mainstream. I think she's got more mainstream appeal if I'm looking at the two of them.
Yep.
Whereas Clementine comes from kind of activist background and she's kind of built that platform through her deranged activism over the years. Abbie was kind of just thrown into that, and she had that mainstream face recognition that she was able to pivot towards the same type of, radical lunatic type of activism that she does. And I think she was, in a way, a bit more effective than Clementine because she's a bit more like, we'll see in the videos, but more theatrical in a way that she does things. But do they both sell dildos and sex toys as well? Is there a bit of rivalry there? I don't know.
Abbie definitely does because Joel actually did, I think, a review. What is it? An open
I think he
packaging.
bought some.
I did.
Pretty sure he bought it.
Apparently, I'm a dildo user because I appear on a podcast when I platform someone. So
Let me just see if she sells sex toys.
To all their beliefs. Yeah, so that's great.
So, what happened was, keeping all that in mind, I think Clementine is jealous of Abbie because she feels like Abbie took her place. And so Clementine's been on this thing where she's attacked a bunch of Abbie's moves, and we'll watch a bit of that as well. So this was Abbie Chatfield had Albo on her massive far left wing podcast prior to jumping out and publicly joining the Greens or whatever. And so this is from Clementine's story on Insta right after she had it. She goes, "This is who she really is," talking about Abbie. "And no amount of fake crying to try launder her complicity in doing PR for a genocide supporters like Albo can change that. She's completely shallow and frequently unable to actually prosecute an argument she hasn't cobbled together from uncredited sound bites gleaned from other people. This is why she's attacking her views, her integrity, her everything, and it's not about feminism anymore. And in fact, these are the people that say don't tear down other women, we should elevate them. It's all about the interview with the Prime Minister. And you know what? To be honest, I didn't watch the interview. I don't know if she challenged the Prime Minister, and I don't have much sympathy for Abbie, but I think if you get the opportunity to interview the Prime Minister when you have a podcast, or like if the Prime Minister would come on here, we would be more than happy. I probably would go a lot harder on him than Dildo Abbie, but
bro, wait. Just to cut in there, Avi, I've done research while you've been talking, and they do both, in fact, have partnerships with dildo, selling dildos and sex toys. So there is that element there as well. I've just checked. I've sent you the links.
Did you send it to the Yemeni one?
To the Yemeni report, you can see the videos of them both. So there is a rivalry there as well in terms of a business type. They're both involved in the same line of business as well. So the plot thickens. I'll just keep going.
Hang on. So what we're looking at, you know how did you guys ever see that?
Hold on. This is
Secrets, which is Australia's premier sex toy company. I'm very proud to partner with them. I'm also going to try out a lot of sex toys, so I feel like it's a win-win. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about a new toy.
I want to turn that off because I don't know. It's got some music in there that's going to probably get us banned.
# Free Palestine.
This is. Yeah. Take this to Gaza, please.
Mate.
Okay.
Seriously, mate.
I'm glad we cleared that up. Go on. What were you about to say, Joel?
Mate, I was just going to say, I mean, what we're looking at is the shadow war between dildo suppliers. That's what we're seeing. This has nothing to do, but the politics is just the surface of this. We're not seeing the shadow campaign. It's like Western Sydney with the acai wars, the acai bowl wars that are going on, and the drug wars.
Yes, I've seen that.
Mate, that's what it is. I'm telling you.
Okay, so this shadow dildo war, why are they even? I get everything's the Jews, but why is even that the Jews now?
To be honest, Rabbi Shmuley also sells.
Ah, that is so true. Why did you have to bring up Rabbi Shmuley?
Rami, you got to put the camera on you, bro. They don't know who's speaking. They think it's me that's speaking.
Look, the question I have, Rami, is how did you know that Rabbi Shmuley sells dildos? Is that your supplier? So he goes to Abbie and you go to Shmuley?
Yeah, well, dildos are the new merge, so that's basically what they all do.
There's something going on there, definitely.
They sell vibrators too, guys. They sell vibrators too.
I'm sure Rabbi Shmuley does too. And guys, I just want to denounce Rabbi Shmuley is not part of us. In fact, he was just in Australia. This guy was just in Australia, and I was waiting. I was actually setting up to confront him when he gets to Melbourne because he was doing this national tour. Get this, to teach the Jewish community how to successfully combat anti-Semitism. This guy is single-handedly responsible for more anti-Semitism than any anti-Semite you can point at in the world. He goes on about Candace Owens, and yes, I agree, Candace Owens does generate a lot of anti-Semitism. Rabbi Shmuley is responsible for more than she is. Rabbi Shmuley, in fact, is responsible for making her anti-Semitism palpable. When I watch her and Rabbi Shmuley debating, I can't help, even as a Jew, going, damn, she seems more reasonable. So please, guys.
Honestly, man, it's a shame you never got the chance to confront him because that guy, I think you're 100%
He's the worst.
correct.
He's hated by most of the Jewish community. He spoke at 2 synagogues on his trip here. He got heckled out of both of them. He went online later to reframe why he was heckled. So he framed it that people in Australia are heckling him because they're upset that he's confronting the anti-Semitism front on. The chutzpah of this guy. No, the reason why Jews are angry at Rabbi Shmuley is because his behavior is causing anti-Semitism. Nobody supports what he does. Nobody gets behind it. Yes, anti-Semitism is real, but running around and picking fights with randoms on the street and then crying anti-Semitism and making it easy, like you're minimizing the actual problem that's happening at the moment, and you're making it easy for somebody who has no idea about what's really happening. You make it easy for them to sympathize with the other person, whether they're an anti-Semite or not. Like in Candace Owens' case, she is, but it's easier to sympathize with her message. And that is why I say he actually generates more anti-Semitism. Anyways, thank you, Rami, for bringing up your dildo supplier and sending me on that.
The dildo was the segue. So
I know, I can't believe it.
Okay, so now Abbie had Albo on, Clem, who's jealous and upset, and feels like Abbie's probably copying her. And I think Abbie probably did look at Clem for a lot of inspiration over the years as she was growing her, loony, lefty, fake, whatever. So then Clementine went online. I think these were from her stories, but then she republished it. I pulled it off her Facebook. We'll just watch some of what she was saying in these videos after that interview.
And if you feel attacked by how other women are responding to your feminist, whatever it is, if you feel attacked by how other people are reacting to your displays of authority, either learn how to stand your ground or make better arguments.
So she's mocking. This is about Abbie. She's saying that.
And to anyone watching
stupid
who may still be feeling that, well, this is why women don't have opinions publicly, because they just get thrashed. Again, I urge you to try and develop more robustness in yourself. And part of what helps a person to become robust is to really know what they're fucking talking about. And how to know what you're fucking talking about, or at least to feel confident that you know what you're talking about, is to explore widely, is to show curiosity, is to actually think, well, what is it? What is my argument? What do I think? okay, this is what I think. Now I'm going to find a bunch of things that help solidify that for me so that I know that I'm on the right track, but also so that I can point to other people who have had these arguments and these fights before, and I can be in their company. Abbie doesn't do that. You know,
I find that such a bizarre argument. Put Abbie aside for a minute. It's an insight into how she operates and how the left works. She's saying, know what your stance is, and then go and do some research to confirm your bias, and so that you can make... Is that what you got out of what she's just saying there, or am I reading into that?
Honestly, mate, in my debate with Abbie made a lot more sense than that. I mean, and that's saying a lot. At this stage, I'm on Team Abbie for this. I'm doing the Pakistan versus India thing. I'm on Abbie's side of that right now, because
you're on Abbie's side at this point.
Mate, Clementine said a lot of words and she didn't say a lot of crap.
No, but she actually said something that to me is a peek into the mind. Like, taking it on face value that she's not just saying stuff to get at Abbie and kind of send her fans against her. She's obviously they're speaking almost to the crossover following, and that's her objective, clearly. But the idea that you would go online and you would publicly say, as a political commentator, as somebody that you know, professes to speak the truth and to speak truth to power, why would you go into an issue, especially, and this whole argument is all about the Israel-Gaza thing. And so you're going into it, you're saying, I already know what the truth is. I just need to find the information that helps confirm my bias, or to confirm my argument. And that's an insane way to approach any issue.
Yeah. But it's a good insight. Like you said, Ivy, that's an insight into the way that the left-wing mind virus kind of works on almost every single issue that we see. They don't want debate. It's literally just about making you see their worldview, and what she's doing is totally normal and acceptable to her. And she sees nothing wrong with that. I do want to be honest. I did zone out a little bit when listening to her. I don't know how people.
You're gonna have to listen in, because
I was zoning out, but I'm going to pay attention.
Look, it is the complete opposite to critical thinking. It's the opposite, and I think people that pride themselves, and I thought the left publicly at least pride themselves on critically thinking as well. That's their argument is that they allege that the right doesn't critically think, and the right says the same about the left. She's proudly saying she doesn't critically think. I don't test any theory. In fact, I have a pre-thing, position, and I just need information to help me back my argument.
Secular feminism,
we see
very obvious.
This all the time, people. It's actually nuts, and I've seen this in your interviews with people, Avi, on the street. They're like, can you condemn a very simple act of violence? And they're like, they will not condemn it. They just will not condemn it, because they are trying to find the information that approves their way of thinking, because they're virtuous and you're not.
Yeah, and just on that point, Avi, it's a bit funny in this context with these people having their fight and stuff, but this actually extends out to real world issues like climate science and climate change. And that's where you see the top tier level of this, where, they only listen to a certain type of scientist. Only one group of scientists is important, like only one type of science or academic is the one that we listen to. Anyone else, even during COVID, of course, that was the greatest test of this. You saw how they completely ignored the other side of the argument and just found stuff that just confirmed everything that they believed was true. And what do we find out afterwards? None of it was really true. It was all made up to fit that worldview. And it is dangerous, the way that these people operate. In this context, it's a bit funny in a way. But
it's a good point. You can apply it to the COVID thing, which is exactly what we were saying at the time, that it was the COVID. That's what they did. They had a political position, and then they found the data or the information or whatever to make their argument, to back up their argument.
Rami, what was the name of that book that Bill Gates wrote, which was like how to manipulate statistics so that you can make your point, basically? It's a bit like what they did to the 97% in our last podcast. We were talking
in the climate change argument.
Yeah, the 97% statistic, which excluded 66% of the scientist extracts that were done. It's like, that's not 97%. That's like 20, 30%.
All right, guys. The chats are telling us they really want to keep watching
problems
Abbie.
because are we in a wave right now, or are we just in a whirlpool being sucked under? I don't know. But every stage of a movement has problems because no movement will ever be perfect, and we are always working through our But one thing I do think that the feminists of the 1970s did well was they didn't need to fucking be liked by each other. They didn't need to participate in this fucking charade of like women supporting women. Women supporting women is relevant and essential when it's women supporting women against the crush of patriarchy, against the crush of imperialism, against the crush of fucking white supremacy. It's not women supporting women by coming out and defending one of the most powerful fucking voices in this country, who is using her platform irresponsibly, protecting her from pushback. And the same thing is happening here ahead of the federal election, which is not to say that, of course, Peter Dutton is a nightmare. Peter Dutton as Prime Minister is a horrifying thought. But to not even acknowledge the absolute crimes of the Labour government, because, God, we don't want people to not vote for them. To not even push, to use your privilege, your power, your platform to say, what do you plan to do differently to win back votes that you may have lost, is absolutely fucking grotesque, like abrogation of responsibility. But they love the feeling that now the ship has been righted and they can get back to doing what it is that they do best, which is advocating for causes that primarily benefit them. But God forbid you criticize them for it, because that's mean. I'm not going to deny that women attract more backlash than men do.
I love the, like, even she's conflicted because she knows it goes against all the messaging prior. So she's got to justify it to the audience, going, oh, you know what I loved about back in the 70s, the old feminism, which, you know, I think we can agree the original feminists actually fought for a worthy cause, something that mattered.
Yeah.
Whereas these people have gone nuts. And so then but now she does what we do and refer back to the first wave feminism that we're actually fighting a noble cause. She goes, oh, they didn't actually have to be liking each other. And it's like,
yeah.
Also,
she did make a few valid points there. Yes. I think it's true that, you know, generally this expectation that women should all support each other because they're women, and it's kind of weird because you don't expect that for men. You don't expect that at whatsoever.
But I bet you, like, if you did a search, Clementine Ford would be the first to say that.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
She's backtracking now, because it suits what she's doing. She's trying to do the exact thing that she's ever condemned other women for. I don't have to look. I'm sure I remember it, but I know because that's the third wave feminism. That's what they all do. You've got to uplift women, and now that she's trying to tear down somebody that she sees as taking her rightful place. She's going, no, we can justify it. The old feminists did it. It's cool.
Obviously, that is true.
She's just trying to outflank Abbie from the left and basically be like, oh, I'm more grassroots than you, and you got to hold the, you know.
I'm more authentic.
More authentic. And I understand that. We do that on the right. We try to, you know, go after the liberals and say, you guys aren't being honest on net zero and this and that. I understand the dynamic, but I just think that, you know, look, Abbie probably had, you know, I don't know this for a fact, this is my speculation, but Abbie probably got paid to actually do that engagement, and it opened doors for her. That's probably what's happened. I
don't even reckon she did. I reckon it's a rating thing. Why would she get paid to do it? She's a clout chaser. That is Abbie's entire professional life. She's a clout chaser. She literally rose to fame over clout chasing. So during the election, you're telling me if the Prime Minister of the day is offering to come on your show, he didn't need to pay her for that. She'd gladly do it for free. Why would you need to pay her? She would happily do it. And that's kind of what Clementine's reacting to here, is because for days, Abbie was, you know, celebrating and you know, but showing off her achievement of having the Prime Minister join her little podcast. That's what she like, the way she was framing it. Oh my God, I can't believe I got her on my podcast. And Abbie and Clementine's found, because I think they're both opportunistic. Clementine has found the opportunity to go, hold on, you've been going on about this genocide for the last year and a half. How come you're having our genocide number one on there and you're not even challenging him about it? And which is a true point, to be fair. To be fair to Clementine Ford on that point. It's like, you have been rallying against Israel for a year and a half. You've said, in fact, you said you wouldn't have a Zionist on your show. Sorry to break it to you. At this point, Albo has publicly stated, forget about old Albo in the last year and a half has publicly stated that he believes Israel has the right to exist, which means by definition, he is a Zionist, because that's all it really means. And you had him on because of the clout. So Clementine is right in saying, well, if you're going to have him on, at least challenge him about the thing that you've been going on for a year and a half, you believe so strongly about. I don't think Clementine really cares. I think Clementine, just like Abbie, is an opportunist who found the perfect thing that she felt like she could say to her audience, going, look at this dumb, because she's basically calling her dumb. She can't formulate her own arguments. Clout chaser who pretends to care about these issues, who had the opportunity to challenge the number one enemy in the country, the most powerful person who could stop the shipments to Israel, whatever the crazy stuff that they keep going on about every day that Albo could do. The truth is he can't do much, but all the things that they but they claim he can. They claim that he's complicit in all these ways, and she had the chance to do it and she didn't. And that's where Clementine is right.
Yeah, I agree with that angle. As I said before, outflanking from the left. That seems what's happening. And Clementine's obviously like, this girl's younger, she's prettier, naturally. And the idea that she's got more clout than me, I don't like it. And Clementine's basically saying that, she's a shill. She's saying that Abbie's a shill for attention and for maybe she's not saying this, but maybe there's something financially there. And that's why, spoiler alert, I think Abbie, to an extent, it's hit the mark, which is why she's crying in this saga.
Oh, we're going to get to the crying. That's the peak of it. Don't give it away.
Largely, I don't give a shit what men say. So if they say something obnoxious, I'm not their target market to be influenced by their political opinion anyway. But also, I will push back against men. But the idea that somehow, if you objectively say something that people disagree with politically, that they are participating in some kind of sexist witch hunt if they call you out for it, or they're bullying you, is just asinine infantile nonsense. If their criticism of you, as I have seen, is that you are just an ex-reality TV star, that is sexist. That is an unreasonable point to make. Maybe I was unreasonable when I said that it was laughable that Abbie knew anything about politics. They don't like that, and they don't like how aware they are of their hypocrisy, even if they refuse to stare it straight on in the face. And during that time, prior to the lead up to the American election, it felt really uncomfortable to do things, to do jobs, to accept things, to do anything that would put themselves in a public sphere where other feminists who were actually doing stuff to protest genocide, who saw their hypocrisy, could be at risk of coming and pointing the finger at them. It felt really uncomfortable for them. And then the US election and the threat of Trump reemerged. And suddenly the ship was righted. Yes, I can be a public feminist again because I have a cause that matters. And that cause is stopping evil from taking over the world. That cause is saving the Democrats and rescuing America, rescuing American women. I can be useful again. I can be powerful. And so they know that for the last 18 months, they've been hypocrites on a mass scale. And despite the fact that that hasn't been enough to prompt them to actually change their behavior or reassess their political framework or even their place in the world and do something that actually matters, Instead, they've just felt a bit uncomfortable about it. They've known that it's there, but they've tried their very hardest to ignore it. Let's just not say anything about it ever. Let's just keep working with institutions that completely pander to the Zionist lobby. Let's not show solidarity with our colleagues in this industry who have, and in the case of some of the women that I listed earlier, like Randa Abdel Fattah, is being absolutely brutalized by government, by members of the same government that the fucking feminists are coming out to fucking salivate over. Because, God, we don't want Dutton to get elected. I was thinking this week, and I really think that this is accurate, that one of the reasons why so many, and I am white, I'm not denying that I'm white, but so many capital W white feminists who are deeply committed to capitalism, to privilege, to being inside the tent, who love being part of it all. One of the reasons why they are so verbose and ostentatious about this fascist threat that they believe somehow appeared magically at the end of last year is because if they can pretend that somehow fascism has broken down the door in the form of Trump and potentially in the form of Dutton, and they can fixate all of their performative feminist activism on that, on stopping that from happening, they can overlook their hypocrisy. Abbie Chatfield is a grown woman with an enormous platform, multiple TV gigs in this country. She's not wanting for exposure. She's not some like ragtag fringe voice that's fighting to be heard. She has an enormous amount of power in this country and an enormous amount of power in the online space. So to somehow pretend that a grown woman, an authority on these matters, to pretend that she can't withstand criticism, however you feel that.
Is that breaking up for you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, sorry,
mate.
It's hard to watch, isn't it?
Is fucking insane. It's infantilizing, and it's designed to conceal and to protect privilege. I just think,
I think it's finished.
I understand why it's breaking up here.
I'm just reading all the comments. I think you are the audience are suffering with us. I don't know what they've done.
We have to watch it to the end. It's
not realize at any stage that you have moved.
I don't know why it's breaking up on me though. What's going on here, Rukshan? You're meant to be technical support. Luckily I downloaded it, so I should have a.
Even the computers had enough, bro. The computer's struggling as well.
She's broken my computer.
The AI is like, nah, no more of this. Let's shut it down. Let's help everyone.
That's actually pretty funny that it's shut down. But we've got to hear the end. There's another minute and a half.
You're still operating in a mindset of fucking individualistic bag.
I don't understand how it's coming
too
out.
Close to time historically. That.
Where did Joel go? Did Joel go to the toilet? He felt that sick.
Joel will be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll finish. Let me just see if I just refreshed it in case it's just Dropbox that's bugging out on us here.
People are asking why.
Do you not feel embarrassed to be sitting here at
this
moment?
What are they asking?
No, while we're watching this, I think we're just trying to provide you guys like the
context. You'll watch this, and then we're going to watch Abbie's exciting kind of breakdown, which came months after this. So this is the build-up. So essentially, it was this, and then months of just screenshots on her story. So I think this is important to understand where Clementine's position was on this, and then you kind of get. Because basically Abbie's response is answering all of this. Is Abbie's like meltdown is the response to this. So you have to endure this to understand. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. You know what? I had to watch it. Now you have to watch it.
In time, and to not realize at any stage that you have not moved with the times, that you're still operating in a mindset of fucking individualistic, get the bag feminism that existed too close in time historically, but that I believe, I hope at least, and certainly I deeply long for, has gone. Because everything about the last 18 months has exposed just how depraved and empty that is. If you're still sitting here with your fucking platform and going, well, that's just not nice, that they're being mean to Abbie Chatfield because she spread misinformation about the election. That's not nice, it's sexist. It is genuinely insane to me that almost 18 months into a fucking live-streamed genocide. How many times do we need to say that word? That phrase before it sinks in. Almost 18 months into a live-streamed genocide.
Yeah.
Some of Australia's most prominent and beloved feminists with massive online platforms and certainly fucking revenue that they pull in.
She's so jealous. She's so
jealous. They still think that the most important thing that they can devote their energy to in terms of fighting the system is defending their peers with simple privileges from being criticized online. Not abused, not harassed, criticized. From being held to feminist account.
There you go. So that was... Sorry about that, guys. That's where it started. There's a couple of things to note before we watch Abbie's response. My wife sent me a message to stop rubbing my nose. I look like a cokehead. I'm sorry. I got hay fever. I'm itchy. I'm itchy, babe.
You don't look like Macron and Steimer.
Now I'm going to be thinking about it all night.
The comments are on fire. I just want to say I know everyone can't see the comments, but the comments during that segment were on fire. Some of the suggestions about using this as some type of interrogation method where you put someone in like a dim room, put Clementine Ford in the ears, shut all the lights off. People would confess, I reckon, because you would just...
I'd give up. I'd give up.
Abbie, is this revenge for last week, mate? I mean, like, seriously, I was listening to that whole thing when I stepped out, and I was like, is this revenge for making a whole audience watch the debate with Abbie Chatfield last week?
Gay beef is that?
I think so. But, guys, we're going to get into Abbie's response because Abbie's response is what kind of blew up over the weekend. It was... and just a couple of points from me listening to that dribble. It's funny how these feminists, and she calls them, she puts in quotation marks when she's talking about Abbie for being a feminist because she hasn't been talking about the genocide, the live stream genocide over 18 months. I'm like, bro, what does that have to do with activism about feminism anyways? Why are you conflating the two things? And if anything, what about October 7? You literally ignored the plight of women on October 7, and publicly you did that. So stop feeding us this BS about feminism. It's not about feminism. You want to be in the spotlight. You want clout. It's cool on the woke left to talk about Israel, and you think you found a low-hanging fruit in order to attack Abbie Chatfield because you hate that she's more popular than you. That thing oozes jealousy of Abbie Chatfield. But was it particularly harsh, like on an online thing? Yeah, some of you see when she calls her out on in some of those screenshots, especially the ones that we showed in that thing. It's definitely the audience is a crossover, so there will be a lot of people commenting on Abbie. I know that because I live this world. If you live in the public, with a public profile, and especially in a political sense, as in you're a commentator that makes your political, and especially if your political takes are controversial, which you, Joel, me, that like we consider our political takes are controversial to at least half of society. So are they. And to think then, so to not be used to criticism or even harsh criticism. And in my case, look at the comment section of this video. I'm sure there's plenty in there that are targeting me, my opinions, my race, my everything. So to cry victim over that is wild. But when either of them become so both of these people, both of these personalities do this, they calmly set their mob onto the other side in a tone of, like, her tone is really like calm and non-combative, but she's unleashing her followers who all are in this crazy world of third wave feminism and live stream genocide together, and the crossover, she's sending them to Abbie. That's the truth.
I think the other thing you have to think about, Avi, is it's in politics. Yes, you get criticized by people, but it's a bit different when someone you may think is on your side criticizes you. So I think there's a bit of that going on as well.
It cuts deeper, I think. But it happens to all of us. It cuts deeper, and it often is, like in this case, it comes from a place of jealousy. That's where it starts. And then they find, like, people who are jealous of others in the same space find reasons in which they think that they can sell something to the audience to make them hate the person that they're jealous of. And we see that even during the election. Like, when you saw some of the minor parties fighting between each other, it was exactly this. And you do get more offended by it, for sure, because it kind of feels like it came out of nowhere. All right, the part that everyone's waiting for.
The drop. Everyone's waiting for the drop. They're like, why is Abbie fascinated by these women? I'm like, wait, you'll hear in a sec.
It's getting good.
I just want to say as well, I'm very used to being trolled and called out or called.
This is exactly what you were saying.
Right? But there is a difference between calling someone out constructively and lying about them and harassing them. And what Clementine Ford is doing is the latter, in an effort to convince herself and her followers that I'm actually evil. She is lying about me. The reason why I keep saying I'm gone and then I come back is because every minute I'm getting a new DM from a follower saying that she said another outrageous lie about me or told them my motivations and told them things about my personality that she miraculously knows, despite the fact that I don't know this person. She does not know me. She has a parasocial relationship with me that's run by hate. She's making it up. Calling someone out on one medium when they do something wrong or that is unhelpful or harmful or whatever is enough, and that's reasonable. I'm not saying people can't criticize me, which is what she's saying. She's, again, exaggerating what I'm saying because she wants to be right, but let's move on from that. What she is doing is she is continually, over months, at random intervals, deciding to go on tirades about me. She is, and these are full of lies and exaggerations. She is doing this in the following mediums. She has created content specifically about me, naming me, lying about me, exaggerating all these things on the following platforms. It's not just one thing. It's everywhere she can at random intervals, unprovoked. I've never spoken about her publicly. I've been ignoring this and taking the high road for months, despite the aggressive trolling and the harassment that she is encouraging and she is doing herself. Let me explain to you all the different areas in which she is coming for me. Fuck that. Instagram stories, Instagram grid, Twitter, Substack, her newsletter. I also believe probably TikTok. I'm not going to go look into that, that's for sure. I've fucking blocked her on Instagram. I should block her on TikTok as well. She also has a Patreon. Who knows what she's saying on that? Every medium that she can.
The irony is that she filmed this, and it's going to be funnier when you watch how it kind of unfolds, but she filmed this and published it on all those platforms. She's crying. And she has a way bigger platform than Clementine Ford today. In fact, that's, I think, the driving force. Like I say, she's jealous. But she's having this she's opening the sook about, oh my God, she's criticizing me, not just on one platform, but on all these platforms.
Everywhere.
But all those platforms.
Even on Patreon.
All those platforms of Clementine Ford don't actually even match one of one of Abbie's platforms. Abbie has a far greater reach. Like you said, she's mainstream. It's funny.
She's saying things about me. She's also replying to DMs, and she's lying.
Shows how soft she is.
You're allowed to call me out for my conversation with Anthony Albanese. That's fine. We have different opinions on what was best before the election. That's all that is. But you are taking that and you are expanding upon it, and you are defaming me, Clementine. You are defaming me to people privately and publicly. And it's not okay. Here's what she's been saying about my character. She has said to my followers directly that I think I'm above my followers and my fans. This is in writing. I have a screenshot of this. How would she know that? How would she know what I think and what I feel? But she's saying it as though she's an authority, which is ironic because she's saying that I posture myself as an authority on politics, which I don't. Yet apparently she's an authority on Abbie Chatfield's motivations.
The funny thing about both of them here is it is all projections. If you listen to both of them, what they say about each other, it is true. A lot of what they say about each other is true. And it's what we say about them all the time. But they say they're now saying it about each other, but really it's about both of them.
So what you're saying is what they're saying about each other is true, but it's also true about themselves.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
She's in my head. She knows exactly what I'm thinking. So she's told people that I think that I'm above my followers. Not true at all. What evidence is there for this? She just says things. She said that I'm a narcissist.
They're both narcissists.
I don't know you. I don't know you. You're a stranger and you're obsessed with me. It's really strange. She has said that I am performative. All I care about is money.
Ding.
They both.
As though I'm showy financially as well. It's like, why would you think that all I care about is money? It's bizarre. She has said in definitive terms that I'm a narcissist. She does not know me. She has said that I steal my work. She has said that I said that I'm a political authority. I never said that. I'm merely spreading information, Clementine. She has said that I steal my work.
But they both think they're political the authorities. They both freaking steal their work. Like it literally.
Mate, I got to splice that debate, some of those debate moments into this. This is hilarious.
Have you not watched this?
No.
I haven't watched this, man. I haven't watched this.
Exactly. Yeah, I only saw like brief 15 seconds.
I wanted to watch it live and react to it for the live audience.
It is so entertaining. This is like, and this is not even the good bit yet. And I'm doing it at one
keep
time.
Going, keep going,
125.
keep
but
going.
I also
for sure.
don't research anything. How does she know this? How does she know this? But she's saying it with so much definitive authority that people believe her and they come and they troll me.
Again, why is there such definitive authority in the way Clementine says it to her? How does she know that that's what she's like? Is because she does it. Everything she's saying, every allegation is a what is it? Every allegation is a
admission.
Admission. Thank you.
She is
admission and
assassinating my character to allow people to be violent towards me and to harass me.
That's just so wild. That's just like, it's such a lefty thing. It's like if I criticize the way you're doing something because you're on my side, it's the lefty position is you're making it okay for people to be violent and harass me. I was like, who's being violent against you? Literally, like, whatever. It's kind of funny what she's saying about you. It's kind of true. But no one's being violent against you. And these are the same people that target, like, they hone their audience. See, they're doing it to two public figures.
Yes.
And when people do it to, let's say, me, Clementine Ford has done it to me. I've seen her do it to other people in which they get threats and nobody's, like, people with no audience, they'll send their whole audience to some random stranger because they feel like they've got an easy point that they can send the mob on. And they actually threaten or whatever. And she, like, it's so.
It is very revealing because if you just listen to Clementine Ford without knowing any of this stuff, it just does sound like she's just criticizing a political commentator and giving a critique of the way that she's dealing with a certain issue and, you know, the things that she doesn't like about the way that she does those things. Like, as someone that's neutral and listening to it, that's what it kind of sounds like. Yes, she sounds unhinged, but that's what it sounds like. But both of them, especially Abbie right now when she's speaking, like you said, Abbie, she's interpreting that as some type of thing where she's because she's doing that, that means she knows that people are being put onto her to come after her in her messages and attack her. So it does show you that this is how their mind operates. And when they go after people, that they're attacking people actually means that they want them to go attack their followers, to go turn on other people as well. So
exactly.
I mean, it is kind of revealing this thing. I know it sounds like we're watching these two crazy women yelling at each other, but we are learning a lot here about the not just the mind of these crazy women, but the left in general, and how they and how they operate in the political sphere. This is a really good lesson for all of us.
Rami said it's the woke mind virus. I'm going to reserve my comments till the end because I want to see this whole thing now. Because just like with Avi, he didn't watch my debate, and so he had a real reaction. This is my real reaction. I'm going to save it.
This is genuinely scaring me. The more that I'm learning about the things she said about me, I am frightened. I am scared. She is encouraging trolling. She is putting fuel on the fucking fire. It's wild. She's also said that I just rock up to the podcast and I do no work and I just parrot what my producers do and I get all my producers to do all my work. First of all, Clementine, you've had a podcast. That is the job of producers usually, is to make prep sheets. That's kind of one of the jobs of a producer, right? But
why doesn't anyone? That's maybe why our podcast sucks.
We don't have any prep sheets. We don't have
any prep sheets. No one helps us. In fact, I'm pressing all the buttons. I'm managing the comments. Rummy there is sitting there pretending to zoom in and out.
Literally, mate, I just hold the pen because it looks good.
I also have a pen that doesn't work that I sometimes hold.
Recently, in the past few months, told my producers to not give me prep sheets anymore because I wasn't really reading them, because I do all my own research myself. That isn't in an ego way. It's in a way of my brain having ADHD. I need to learn things from start to finish for myself to be able to have a conversation, because my podcast is conversational. The only time I have prep sheets from my podcast producers, which is normal, by the way, that doesn't make me a bad person, that's a completely normal thing, is when there is a huge topic and I want to be so correct about it that I do my own research, they do their own research. So the only time producers now prep for me is when there is a huge topic, a very, very important podcast, or if I'm completely overworked and recording 4 episodes in a day. Or if it's a book that I haven't had the time to read and it's on a deadline and the talent is fine with me interviewing them without reading the book, I'll do a fucking audiobook on 2 times speed, take notes, but as a backup, Beautiful Lem will either have read the book or will do a summary or a spark note or something so that I go in feeling more confident because I've listened to it on 2 times speed. That's all normal, regardless, but it seldom happens now, but that's normal. And the fact she's positioning it in a public post as if I just steal other people's intellectual property is wild. Every podcast has a producer that helps them prep. And that isn't to say that my team do nothing. They do so much, but we re-delegated the tasks and the resources because I was like, I'm noticing I'm not actually reading the prep sheet. That was a few months ago.
I love what happened there, because in her mind she was like, all right, they're not, because she realized at the end of it, she's essentially saying her staff don't do anything. And she's like, I have to, they're going to watch this and I got to say, oh no,
they're like, she better give me a raise, they're thinking,
I'm realizing that this could be a big waste of time for you. And like I said, there are times that I absolutely get prep, but the reality is, for me to feel confident in a podcast, I have to research and prep myself. At least 80% of it. Even for Married at First Sight, Oscar said to me, if you don't have time to watch this, or if you're busy, or if you're exhausted, or if you are getting triggered by the episodes, I'll watch it, I'll summarize, and then you can just read the prep sheets, which is beautiful and also a normal thing to do for podcasts. Side note, peek behind the curtain. But I said, no, I can't, because I want to talk from a place of confidence and I want to know that I know what I'm talking about. Because I knew even with Married at First Sight, I was like, I want to have integrity, even with maths recaps. She also was lied about me and saying that I'm obsessed with money. She says this as though she has evidence for it. She does not know me. And also the truth is, I'm not obsessed with money. What is she fucking talking about? She's acting as though I'm an influencer, which it would be fine if I was, but I'm like a luxury bag influencer. I'm going around being like, guys, I got the new G-Wagon. I wear this jumper every day. The first thing that I did when I got money, Clementine, was I bought my mum a new car, because in high school for a long period, we didn't have a car, and then my uncle had to help us out and buy us a very, very cheap car so that mum would have a car. So then I wanted her to have something nice. So before I bought myself anything at all, the first 40 grand that I earned, I saved it and I bought Mum a brand new car.
She's such a good person.
If I was obsessed with money, why the fuck would I do that? She says with authority that I don't actually care about any of these political issues, as though she has...
Rami.
I'm going to rip off my clothes.
Have you bought anyone a new car?
No.
Do you know, because apparently, so if you buy someone else a new car, Andrew Tate, I believe, has bought a bunch of people new cars. That means he's not obsessed with money because he bought someone a new car. You can't actually be obsessed with money if you buy someone a new car. Did you know that?
She said she does her homework before, going on a podcast or whatever. Maybe she should come on your podcast.
I don't know. Unless she buys me a new car, I don't know if I can have her on.
That has to be the gayest
beef
I've
me
ever
saying,
seen.
oh my God, I thought something personal happened behind the scenes and she knew something that we didn't. I don't know this bird. I don't know her. Like, I have put up with this for months. She was doing it years ago as well. I know she's been doing it consistently. But definitely in the past few months, I've been zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day about this. But to find out all the things she's said about me in DMs to people lying about me, there is something seriously wrong here. It's seriously wrong. The majority of her criticisms are lies from her assumptions and her point of view, saying that I haven't read a book. What's this then, Clementine? What's this?
That's a tiny bookshelf. That is got to be the most embarrassing. Look at that bookshelf. I could count the amount of books. Like if you're gonna use your bookshelf as a prop, I'm not saying I read many. I watch YouTube. If you're gonna say if your flex is I read books, please don't show me.
Just do audiobooks.
That could be anything.
Please don't show me your 5 books.
What's your favorite book? Faster Than Life.
I like how she's got the green light for the greens she's working for. So that's a nice little touch. But nice. I mean, I don't watch. Look, this is, to be honest, I don't watch any of these people's content. I don't watch Abbie chat. This is like the first time I'm really watching it. Is this how she normally speaks, or is she kind of an elevated sense of the way that she's speaking? Because she does even normally, if she does this all the time, she looks a bit, chaotic the way that she presents herself.
I got to say, look, I don't watch her often.
I'm surprised the Prime Minister spoke to her just for the numbers, I guess. But she seems a bit.
It's for the numbers, 100%. She's listen. It's for the numbers for the Prime Minister, and it makes sense for him. And the irony of it is that Albo was clearly looking at what happened in the States, and he goes, they realize that that's the winning. The winning recipes to go on to podcasts like young. They're going to reach a much younger audience, which is probably true. Like the podcast probably helped her, I'd imagine. Maybe not. Maybe not.
And
maybe
the builders as well. Yeah.
But it wouldn't have helped. It wouldn't have hurt him to go on the podcast. But I can't remember the point you were just making. What did you just say?
No, I was just saying, is this how she normally is? Like, I don't know. This is like,
yeah, she does talk like this, but you can see here, she's confronted by what we're talking about before. The fact that somebody from her own side, somebody that she used to look up to, somebody that they have a crossover of audience. So a lot of people that probably follow her started commenting about it. This would have been screenshot. You know how it is. We get that as well. Like when it's people from your own side, it's exactly what you said. So she's elevated here. But she does talk like that. But here, she's literally just she's trying to come across super real and approachable and human to people, because obviously those things that Clementine, like we said, the things that Clementine said about her are true, and they're true both ways. So she's really trying to do it from a raw. This is like a raw thing. But it's funny because if you think about it, these are all there were stories on Instagram in which she then put them all together, put the subtitles on it, and then added it to TikTok as well as 2-part videos. This is the end of the first part. But so, it's raw, but she also put it all together. Like, it's the most fake thing. Joel, you missed the bookshelf. Just
I heard the whole thing, mate. I saw the bookshelf and I thought, mate, I'm like, well, that explains a lot.
Can you? No. You don't get to mock this with your little pen. Show us your bookshelf.
It's right here. It's right here, mate. We can't. I don't know if you can see that. Rami,
hold on. Let's bring him up. Where's Joel?
You can't actually see that. No, you can't. Yeah, you can't see it. So the book, there's a whole bookshelf. So hang on, zoom out, Rami, zoom out. So the books in this office span from there to there on one shelf at the bottom left. Oh, that's it, Rami, you got it. So down the bottom there, you've got all those, and the bottom shelf is literally all books.
That just below that. Why are they all on the floor?
We can just see it.
Oh. There is, so literally that part of the shelf. So to go left, go left, go left. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it. Stop there. That's more books than her entire shelf. No, that's too many now. That's way too many.
No, then I got some behind me. I got another row here, and it's like, and look, I'm a relatively younger. I haven't gone through many books, but I mean,
mate, you're telling me that your bookshelf is as good as that.
Mate, it's better than that. It's better than that. But look, mate, we live in an online world. Google it. Like we've got.
You know what? It's only funny. We're gonna just listen to that bit again. Just
she used it. It's her. Like she's the one that was saying, "Look at all my books."
It's so funny. Hold on.
Who does that?
What's this then, Clementine? What's this? A bloody bookshelf? Like what?
You'd never see me do that. That's why it's not in the camera.
That video, Avi, you can pause that video on any frame and she looks crazy.
She looks crazy. I feel like that just needs to be clipped.
Do a test. Any frame you pause it on, she looks nuts.
That just needs. Hold on.
What's this then, Clementine? What's this? A bloody bookshelf? Like what the?
Half a meter.
Yeah. I didn't realize we weren't watching.
That's funny.
Okay. So that's part one. Part two.
There's part two.
Oh, that was part one, mate. We haven't even got to the good bit yet. That's literally part one.
Rami, do you have to head off? No, Rami, sorry. Rami's got to head off. See you, mate.
See you, Rami.
It's too much for Avi.
Yeah, it's too much.
Rami's going to miss the good bit.
Rami's going to listen to it on the way home.
Here we go. Sound sorry. 1 second. We don't want to miss any part of this genius deep reader.
Trying to convince her audience that I am not worthy of respect or any human decency. She is telling people lies about me and my character to make it easier for them to troll me and hate me because she hates me. I don't know why she hates me so much. I guess we can all figure it out ourselves. I'm going to leave it at that. She hates me and she wants...
She's insinuating there what we know. She's insinuating she hates her because she's jealous of her, which is obvious. But it's also and the reason why she knows it is because that she certainly has felt that way towards people before she was bigger than people. What was it?
100%. It takes one to know one, mate.
Yeah, it takes one to know one. Every allegation is an admission.
But the issue is she doesn't have enough evidence in any way to prove that I'm an awful person, so she resorts to lying and exaggerating and defaming my character and saying things as though she knows some secret about me, as though we used to be best friends and now I don't know this person. And she lies about me continuously to make me seem less human. Someone DM'd her and said, "How is this helping?" And she said, "Well, who is it hurting? It's hurting me, Clementine. It's hurting me."
The thing there is, she is an awful person, but so is Clementine. They're both awful people. Who goes onto a podcast, who says, like, publicly, "I'm not having Jews on my podcast"? Like, it's just, like, even if you didn't want to, like, and who's it hurt? Who's it hurting, Abbie? Yeah. It's hurting me. It's hurting me. It's hurting all the rest of us, Jews or Zionists or whatever you want to call it. Like, everything you say about her is true, but both of you play in that place, and suddenly now you're the biggest victim when you treat everyone like that. But here, actually, no one should feel sorry for you because Clementine Ford is doing it to somebody who is a public figure and does it to everyone else. It's a taste of your own medicine.
True.
Literally, that's what she told me in that debate. How's mass immigration affecting you? You know, so, and I'm like, hey, it's affecting me now.
It's just been so scary this last 48 hours, seeing every single minute a new quote from one of you, and love you for sending them. Please keep sending them because I want to keep them all in a folder. But all the things that she said about me, it's like every minute there's a new lie, different wording, and it's like, this is on a Substack, this is on Threads. Someone else said Threads just then. So she's done like 7 different platforms talking about me. And the same thing again and again, but the majority of it is assumptions that she's made about me from watching my content. But she doesn't know me. And the content doesn't support what she's saying, like that I only care about money, or that I'm a narcissist, or like, these are far right-wing talking points, by the way, just so you're aware. This is how I get trolled by the far right. She's doing the exact same thing, and it's acting horrific. She's put words into my mouth and thoughts into my head, and people are believing her and subsequently are trolling me and harassing me, and have been for months. And this explains where all of this has come from, because all these things are almost direct quotes from trolls that I've had. She is risking my safety and my mental health because she is lying about me. Again, Clementine, you keep defending yourself by saying, she can't handle criticism. Don't take it personally. You can criticize the work that is in front of you and things that I've actually done. That's fine. Stop criticizing my thoughts. You're lying about my thoughts, then doing Substack posts elaborating on why those thoughts that you've made up are wrong. What is going on here? Like, Jesus.
Look at the frame. That's the frame you want to know.
Yeah, you can pause it anywhere. Oh, man.
In short, she's defaming me. She's doing a character assassination, a long form one, in order to make me seem like I deserve the trolling that I get. I'm a fucking human being. I get enough trolling in the day. I don't need it from Clementine Ford and the people that follow Clementine Ford and take what she says as being true, thinking that she must know something about me. She does not know me. Anything that she says about my character, my intentions, my interests, my obsession with money, whatever, me thinking that I'm above my followers, anyone that's met me would tell you, I appreciate meeting all of you. I don't think that I'm above fucking followers. I had a 9-to-5 job in Brisbane and I suddenly was in the public eye. Suddenly. That made me have a more realistic view of like what this is. Does that make sense? And she's going to say, well, she's a narcissist. She's got this inherent egotistical vibe about her. It's like, I actually have been tested for narcissism because my abusive ex-boyfriend told me every day that I was a narcissist. He told me there was something seriously wrong with me, and he gaslit me so fucking badly that I went to my therapist and I begged her in tears to test me for being a narcissist.
God, I've got to slow it down now. This is too funny.
It's coming now.
This is
Oh my God.
Oh, bro, this is like the funniest story.
Downhill from here, guys.
This is the funniest story. This is the funniest story. And I don't even know if it's true or not. Like, I doubt it's true. But it's just hilarious that you would even make it up.
There was something seriously wrong with me, and he gaslit me so fucking badly that I went to my therapist and I begged her in tears to test me for being a narcissist. I begged her, and she said, no, you're not. She's my therapist every week for multiple years. And then she said, I'll do the test. She did the test and she said, there's nothing there, darling. Same with BPD. Nothing wrong with having BPD. Obviously, these things are personality disorders and aren't people's fault regardless. But what I'm saying is I don't have these things that she's accusing me of having. I am not a fucking narcissist. I've been abused online and in real life with that word and told that I'm a narcissist because I speak my mind and tell people how I actually feel about things. It's taken me so...
Let's just, for the record, according to everything we've been talking, the theme is the same. She is 100% a narcissist.
Yeah.
And so is Clementine Ford. They are both narcissists. And this story, if it's true, fire that therapist. But I don't believe it. I don't buy this story. Like, I think... It's just like, mate, she's trying to think of stuff to say. And again, you got like coming at it because clearly her motive here or her plan here was to come across as genuine, raw and real as possible. But what you need to remember is she sat in front of this camera. She kept pressing the record, pause, while getting herself to cry. And then once it was done, she went and added the subtitle stuff and, put it together for TikTok and made it into one long,
only a narcissist could do that.
Only a narcissist does
that. Only a narcissist could talk about why they're not a narcissist in
and
that
cry
level of
about
detail.
it to a camera.
Because that story about the therapist was completely unnecessary for everything that we've been listening to.
Go on.
Much work after that abusive relationship to know that I'm a good person, I'm generous and I'm kind and I'm loving. And being with Adam has shown that, and my friends have shown me that. And I have really deep relationships with people. And I've had to remind myself every day since that relationship that I'm not a narcissist. And she's just saying it willy-nilly, but as though she knows me, as though she's never had a fucking real conversation with me beyond the year of 2020 when she was loving me before I had a platform of this size. It's just all so incredibly hurtful, and I don't...
Did you see that pause where she's trying to think, what more can I add to this cry for the video? I'm not a narcissist, it's all so hurtful.
Honestly, at this point, it looks like she's trying to weaponize her audience to fight on her behalf as a white knight.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. She's trying to flip it back onto Clementine by playing the mental health thing, and she's hoping or expecting her audience to watch this and go, oh my God, she broke this strong woman. This feminist leader broke somebody that fights for women. This is insane. And it's 100% narcissistic.
It's bizarre because on our side of things, it's just the
why
opposite.
What'd you say?
It's just the opposite. With us, it's like, stoicism, show no pain, don't give in, literally just bear your cross per se. Literally just, keep moving forward sort of thing. Don't let your enemies know how you really are feeling, and just keep pushing on, and don't, outshine the shills per se. That's how I'd say it. But anyway, go on.
And I don't care how many times you try to convince us that you're a good, kind person. You're not. And you're not when it comes to men, the way you talk to men or about men. You're not in the way you talk about Jews and Zionists and the way you try to dehumanize them. Everything you say, you're a liar and you're a narcissist. And everything Clementine says about you is true. And everything you say about Clementine is true. And you know what? I support you both.
She's doing it to me. I wish she'd just focus on something that actually fucking was harmful to women. Why is she doing this to me? It's taken me so much work after that abusive relationship to know that I'm a good person, I'm generous and I'm kind and I'm loving. And being with Adam has shown that, and my friends have shown me that. And I have really deep relationships with people. And I've had to remind myself every day since that relationship that I'm not a narcissist. And she's just saying it willy-nilly, but as though she knows me, as though she's never had a fucking real conversation with me beyond the year of 2020 when she was loving me before I had a platform of this size. It's just all so incredibly hurtful, and I don't get where it's come from, and I don't get why she's doing it to me. I wish she'd just focus on something that actually fucking was harmful to women. Why is she doing this to me? And there's just been a really hard 48 hours of being like, wait, what is this person saying about me? Again, she can criticize my actual content all that she wants, Clementine. You genuinely can. Fucking go for it, but stop lying about my character and my intentions. I get it enough from
man
from people on the right and trolls and men that hate me and want to threaten me and want me dead. Please stop dehumanizing me. Please, you can criticize my content, you can criticize my work, just I'm begging you to stop lying about my intentions and stop saying that I have a personality disorder. You don't know me.
What, Rukshan? What's your reaction?
Man, like this, I'm just thinking about the young people that watch this kind of content, and to think that, you know, this is kind of the height of whatever left-wing political commentary there is in this country is insane. Like the way that they're carrying themselves right now over a disagreement about how they were framed by each other. These are not serious people that can have anything to do with any type of serious politics in this country. And to have like this type of platform and to share this with the audience about this type of disagreement, like it's just insane. And
it's manipulative. It's so manipulative. The whole thing is.
It's just everything that's wrong with society today, I think, what we're seeing there. Right? These women, they profess to talk about all these serious issues. And the one thing where there's some sort of slight against each other, they can't handle it. They just break down and just completely, that whole veneer of their, you know, whatever we saw last week on SBS Insight where she was debating Joel, like Joel was saying, that's all gone now. It's just completely kind of unhinged, like, oh, look at me, poor me. Oh my God, she called me a narcissist, how mean. And like you said, Abbie, many times, these are the same people that attack everyone else, you know, for being right-wing this, right-wing that.
White.
You know, this person's evil.
Even Clementine Ford
put
in her thing.
This person in jail.
Yeah, they target everyone, including even Clementine Ford in her attack for that. She had to like give that thing.
She attacked herself.
Yeah, she was white. Oh, but like, it's just so well. They are horror. They are actually horrible people. They're not nice. They're never nice, and they don't engage with opposing views with grace. Even when they engaged with Joel, you saw that. Even with that edited version, which was designed to make them look as good as possible, you could see the way she reacted, like with repulse to dumb Joel. But online, and when she talks about being a kind and don't dehumanize me, like they dehumanize white people, they dehumanize Jews, they dehumanize anyone that they consider men, they dehumanize men, they dehumanize anyone that they see as a political opponent all the time. The difference here is this is for the first time they see each other as opponents, so they're dehumanizing each other. If that's like the thing is, what Clementine is doing to her is a fraction of what they do to others, is a fraction of the pain she's caused and Clementine has caused to Jews. It's a fraction to white people, to men. It's a fraction, and they're carrying on and crying about it. And that's why it's so satisfying to sit back and watch it, even though I know they're crocodile tears. Even though
look, I think her performative stuff, it's a performance, right? It's theatrical. It could probably work on Maths or The Bachelor or wherever she was. Like, it would
and
work
maybe
on
to her audience. Maybe to her audience.
To her audience, it might work, right? But in the political sphere, when you're looking at someone like this is not a serious person.
It's good entertainment.
So and it's okay to be vulnerable. I think, you know, this is kind of I'm not telling people not to be vulnerable and, you know, not you know, fight for what they believe in and do all this stuff. That's not what I'm saying. And people probably see me laughing throughout this video because it just looks unhinged and theatrical and just fake. But you could be all of those things, but at least, you know, have a respect for your audience and what you do, and don't sink to these kind of levels. And I think where she's taking this is unnecessary. But again, it shows you that it's all about theatrics. It's all performative. It's very much in line with, you know, complete narcissism. And again, I'm worried about the types of people in our country, the young women and young men, I'm guessing more young women, that watch these people and take them seriously on political issues because they don't have the barometer of what is, you know, good, moral, ethical, or right. It's all about how the world impacts them only and their worldview that they care about. And that is why I think this rise in social media is becoming so dangerous when you have these kind of hacks come into this kind of space as well now. And you have politicians reaching out to them to sell that message to the rest of the public as well. And I just don't think they're serious people. That's my thoughts.
This is so fucking triggering. I just want her to stop. And I know that now she's going to say that I'm victimizing myself, but the reality is she has been harassing me and lying about me. She's going to say that.
How does she know she's going to say that? Because
that's what she would say.
They know the formula. The formula's the same. That's what I'm saying to you. Like every allegation is an admission. It's a game that they play.
I can't handle criticism. I've said a million times, please, 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 go for it. Go attack my work. Not even attack. Critique it. Question it. Whatever. I understand that you have different views on the election. We have different views. That's okay. You can call me out once. You can talk about that. Whatever. Stop lying about me. You don't know me at all. You're a stranger. I deal with so much every single day. I deal with insults every single day. I do not need it from you because you know that when you say it, you validate it for people on the left. And you are encouraging trolling, you are risking my safety, and you are fucking my mental health. Please fucking
That's the admission. That's an admission of the violent left. That was a direct admission, what we've talked about for so long, how violent the left are, that even her, being on the left, she's so terrified of what Clementine's saying because she knows instinctively that the left are violent. And she's worried. That's an admission.
It's actually a good point.
When I post about Palestine, stop using that as a reason to critique me more and say that I'm performative or whatever. Please stop discouraging me from posting about Gaza. It isn't working, but you're discouraging others. And you're encouraging trolling of me. Please, I'm just trying to do what I can to help. I don't understand why she's so adamant on proving that I'm awful. I don't get it. I've had 4 people so far say to me that my letter to the MP that I wrote myself, she's going to say that someone else wrote it, I wrote it myself. I got it approved by Dr. Mustafa. She's going to say that I didn't. But that letter to MPs, I've had 4 people tell me that they've gotten replies saying they'll meet with Dr. Mustafa. MPs are meeting with Dr. Mustafa, or at least saying they will. No matter what I do or what I don't do, she's going to find a way to critique it. And it's very clear the pattern is when I do speak about Gaza, she then critiques me more. That sets her off on another tirade.
Again, another admission there that's important is that when they hate somebody, and that's how she knows it, when they hate somebody or somebody because of their political views or whatever, just or for their race even, these guys are the biggest racists. When they hate somebody, they will criticize them no matter what. So there's no winning. So, when a political opponent, when somebody they see as the opposition even does what, cowers to their demands, to the left's demand, it never helps because then they'll find a way to and that's her point here. And she knows it because they all do that because it doesn't matter. It's not about her talking for Gaza. She doesn't give a crap about Gaza. Neither does Clementine Ford. It's a grift for both of them. And that's why it doesn't actually matter what she says about Gaza or what she does about Gaza or whether she writes the Mustafa or doesn't. It doesn't matter. The point is we found a way to attack you in a way that I think can take it down a peg to the audience that we share.
Yes.
Why? Why? Why, when I do the thing that you want me to do you go deeper on your hatred for me and your defamation of me and your lies about me? Why? Why, when I do the thing...
The thing is, defamation...
She brought an illegal standard there. She just threw that in there.
Oh, she's done it. She did it a few times through it. You haven't been listening. She does drop defamation in there, and she's delusional is probably the word she needs to look for. Like if it's real defamation with what's her name from Clementine Ford, go sue her. You like most people can't sue because it's out of reach. They can't afford to sue. She clearly has enough money. She has that extra rental property. Oh no, sorry, she's giving that for free.
That's for free.
She makes a lot of money. She can afford a defamation lawyer, and people have to prove damages. It won't be very hard to prove damages in this case because there is so much. If something Clementine has said is untrue, but it's not defamation. This is not defamation. This is like somebody critiquing a criticism of what you pride yourself in, and they just happen to be someone from your side.
Yeah.
That, you know what? Like, really, this should be a moment for these people, or especially her, if any of this is genuine, like she feels like the feelings are genuine, which I think this is all theatrics, it's a show, but the feelings of betrayal beneath it is real, right? Like, please go and reflect on that for a second and think about it for 1 second and think, maybe if you don't like that, maybe think, do I treat people that I don't like in the same way or in a similar manner?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that should be the lesson for you, is walk away and reflect. Like, if you're genuinely feeling any of the feelings that you're saying, which I think she is, but because it's more that she's been betrayed by her own side and she's feeling the pain because some of her own audience is turning on her. That should be a moment of reflection. Turn around and go,
true.
Hold on, have I treated anyone in this way? Because this feels really crappy.
You sound like a therapist.
It won't happen. Yeah, it should be. Listen, I could tell you now, I am happy to give her the narcissistic test. In fact, she doesn't even have to pay me. She doesn't even have to pay me. I am better than her therapist because I guarantee you.
You can assess her through video.
I've assessed her, and she is she's a narcissist. That is my official.
You want me to do? It makes no sense. This is so incredibly stressful and awful what she is doing and counterintuitive. And I actually don't know what the fuck to do because I'm aware now someone's spreading malicious lies about me again and again and again and again and again because she claims to know my intentions on fucking everything. I'm scared of her. Please stop. Clementine, I am begging you to stop with the character assassination. You can critique my work. Go for it.
So what is it here? This was a screenshot she added at the end, which, see how this isn't criticism, it's just insults. Also, I've changed the font because a few of you said it was hard to read. So she's underlying, so this is obviously from, I don't know, it looks like a message. I can guarantee you does not see you, what? I can guarantee you does not see you as her equal. Idiotic narcissist, fake crying. She's completely shallow, uncredited soundbite clean, but she doesn't actually know. It's pretty funny, but if this is from Clementine, that's pretty like, I can guarantee you does not see you. She does not. Okay, so it's just a typo. Joel, so what's your reaction?
Is that everything?
That's the end of that is it.
Oh my God.
Was that not enough?
Lord.
Was that not enough?
Mate, seriously, I'm going to do obviously what's said's been said. I agree with what you guys are saying. But I have to say, and I'm pretty good with this in person, having spent about 3 hours with her, Abbie, I don't know who her mother is or who her consultants are, but they've got to be fired. I mean, anyone that genuinely cares about the mental health of this girl needs to give her better advice. And I don't mean this as saying, Abbie's, she's doing the wrong. She's like everything. She
definitely needs a new
here,
therapist.
100%. Look,
I diagnosed her over that one video. I can diagnose her. Narcissist. You get on them. Is there medication for narcissism? Narcissism.
There's so many layers. There's so many layers to this, like an onion. Like, I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, part of me, again, she didn't do me any favors in that debate. She totally disrespected me in that debate, which I was expecting. But I went into that debate not liking her and thinking that she lives a degenerate life, and I still think that. However, having spent those 3 hours with her and getting an understanding of who she actually is, I couldn't help but actually, like her as a human being. Like, I actually came out with a better view of who she was, and genuinely seeing how she's acting in this whole saga. I've just got like, who is advising you? Why are you platforming someone like Clementine Ford? Why are you explaining yourself to this woman that is not only a smaller following than you, but if you truly are virtuous in what you're doing, why are you crying on camera? Like, what's wrong with you? Don't
you ever like record like a cry session and then think, I'm going to think about all the stages that had to happen. You had to like sit down and think about what you were going to say and then get yourself worked up enough to fake cry and then like have it on your phone, put the subtitles, mush it together. Even that was a couple of days later, she put it on TikTok together. Like, so at any of those points, did you not think for a second, maybe this is a bit narcissistic? Or do narcissists just not see that?
Yeah, honestly, guys, there's an element of this where, having now spent the time with Abbie, where my heart does actually kind of go out for her, and it's not because she's crying, because a lot of girls would never lie, they cry.
You're a target market now.
Yeah.
She got you.
No, like, it's not even that. You know, chick's got a boyfriend, she's happy and whatever, and she thinks, you know, I saw it in real time. She thinks I'm a piece of crap for my views on immigration and
that's
on
probably the only thing she's right about, though.
Well, you know, who knows? But mate, look, I gave her my card. I said, hey, happy to connect afterwards, because having touch base with those people, I better understood who they are and why they have their politics, but I think they're wrong. Whereas they think I'm evil. They think we're evil for what we believe. And that's where we're just not going to agree. But if this is how you're handling online content, and if you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, I mean, you need better advisors. I gave you my card. There's better people out there that you could talk to, but you need better advisors, for God's sake. I don't even know why you're platforming Clementine Ford. I think it's the stupidest thing.
Are you offering to be an advisor for her?
Mate, I advise a lot of people from the left and the right, and I do that because I think that if you have a bad debate in politics, that makes for worse policy. So the answer is yes. I mean, if she picked up the phone and said, look, Joel, have you ever been in this situation? I'd said, yes. This is how I'd handle it. This is how you deal with it. How would you handle it? Well, mate, first off, you don't make a video naming the person. You know who she should talk to? She should actually talk to Friendly Geordies, because I've noticed how he handled Punter's politics and not platforming him, criticizing him, but not directly. That's the best way to handle it. And the idea that, look,
Sean, remember this when we have our falling out. I don't want to see your stupid crying videos, your narcissistic bull.
I think you'll be the one doing the video.
100%. I'm doing it.
Mate, there'll be no crying.
I'm inspired by Abbie.
Yeah, listen, like, set up your light better for the crying.
Listen,
no. Look,
listen, Abbie got a lot of people to watch that. In fact, we just did a whole show on her crying session. So she's doing something right. I don't think she needs your advice. Go Team Abbie. I want more of that kind of content. Let's read a couple of those super chats while we're here.
Honestly, it's my same reaction to hearing Hannah saying that she was crying. I'm like, look, I don't know why you're crying. It doesn't make any sense. You need to understand who you are, what you're about.
The Hannah after the debate, the other girl, it's like
Hannah.
These guys can just turn on the tears. It's just it's.
I just want to add. I'm a bit different to you, Joel. I have zero sympathy for whatever I just watched, and I don't care about giving them advice or anything like this. They can go as they please against each other as much as they want and do whatever they want. I think the real issue, I think, again, is the fact that they're engaging with people on political issues, which is okay. Everyone should be able to do it, but I just think they're completely unhinged and mad. Both of them. Abbie Chatfield more so than Clementine, as much as unhinged Clementine Ford is. I think she presented as a much more stable individual, if one could do that. And I don't think Abbie's ready for that kind of political arena where she can take that criticism from other people. And if you can't handle it, just don't do it.
I just see them.
if you're
I
going
just
to
see them as different, though, mate. I mean, Clementine Ford. Sorry for interrupting, but Clementine has doxed people. Clementine has doxed people. I mean, this is a very different beast we're dealing with.
I don't agree. I think I don't think you follow Abbie enough to know.
You might be right.
She is a Clementine. She does the same tricks and games as Clementine. She is as nasty as Clementine. She's inspired by Clementine, and that's what the shock here is from. I think you're giving too much leeway because you've met her. And the thing is, when you meet somebody, like I get that as well. You know how many people I've met that walk up to me and go, I used to hate you, and then I met you, and you're actually a pretty cool guy. Like so often, I get that people that are being demonized by the Abbie Chatfields, by the Clementine Fords, and they may follow them, and then they meet me, and they go, "Oh, you're actually like a normal, like cool person. That's not a crazy, scary, wanting to kill me. Like you're happy to sit down and have a drink with somebody that you're politically opposed to." So I think meeting somebody sometimes can make you not I bet you if you met Clementine and she acted normal, you'd feel the same. Like you'd feel like, oh no, she's not that bad, but that's not real. Like the thing is, behind the keyboard, behind the camera, with the power that she holds, and there is a power. Like she is powerful, and she does target people all the time, whether as a group or individuals. She does set people on other people, and this is literally a taste of her own medicine. It's a taste of both her own. Like it's true, and that's why I say I have no sympathy. I actually encourage it. I think we need more lefties doing this, and maybe some of them will wake up and realize that they're not the lovely, kind people they portray themselves as. They don't like. These are the people that turn around. Like Abbie Chatfield goes on in that thing how she's such a kind. Who says that? Who's like genuinely? Rukshan is actually one of the nicest people. This is the first and last time I'm going to say something nice about Rukshan. He's actually genuinely one of the nicest people I know in the world, right? And you've never heard him call himself kind and what did she call herself? Kind and what was that other self-describing? Like they all do it where they talk themselves up as this beautiful person. And the thing is, when you hear Rukshan talking about, not me, when you hear Rukshan talking about political opponents, he's always kind about it. He literally is kind about it. He doesn't sit there and say, I'm a kind person. He actually is kind. I'm not. I'm genuinely not. So... Yeah.
No, I hear you. Look, I haven't...
I'm going to cry when Rukshan backstabs me, though.
Yeah. everyone's waiting for that moment. So many DMs I get, they go, Rukshan, you got to ditch that Avi guy.
But that's why
I know I would have a lot of support if I did it. So
my wife would be supporting you. My wife would support.
Most likely. 100%.
That would be the first. She would give you a super chat. She doesn't give money to anyone. She's more Jewish than me, and she will super chat your video in which you come out against me. But that's why I drop it like every once in a while. I'm like, I'm that abusive guy. I drop that nice little I love you, Rukshan. You're such a good guy. Every once in a while. In the book, I think in the book I said it, and so it keeps you at bay and.
Keeps me at bay, yeah.
So I know the game. I am Clementine. And oh, this is no good. This is all right. Let's just.
I'm not a subscriber to these girls. I don't know their history. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are saying, "Joel, she did do this. She did that." I have no idea. I can only base it.
They are nasty. They are both equally nasty. I think the difference with Abbie, firstly, is she's at the peak of her game. So she's less resentful at the world because she's actually successful at the moment. So, like if you rewind back Clementine Ford 10 years ago when she was writing for the Sydney Morning Herald and she was like, so she was like a mainstream public figure, exactly how she describes everything she described about Abbie when she was explaining why it's okay to attack her. That was Clementine. So Clementine comes off more brash and resentful because she is, but they are the same beast and they are as abusive to people, and I have zero sympathy to that. All right, Rukshan, read some super chats because I'm sure as much as people want to stick around, they want to hear you reading their super chats.
Bring it up. This is from Martin. Martin, thanks for the super chat. I cannot believe we're in this position. First, we elect a liar. Now we elect Albo in a skirt. I lost all hope for my grandchildren's future. This is about Sussan Ley being elected as the Liberal Party leader in the opposition. And a lot of people have compared her to, well, Martin here says like Albo in a skirt. Some people say like Malcolm Turnbull in a skirt. She is very much left-leaning and Labour-light in her policies.
Oh no, we already put that one up. That was from sorry. Yeah.
This is from Ebony Jane. Thanks, Ebony. If feminists like Abbie and Clementine don't vote for Sussan Ley, will they concede that Kamala Harris lost based on merit and not gender? That's a good point.
That's actually a really good point, Ebony. Yeah, that's a really
I mean that is the catch cry of the left, isn't it? You know, vote for women because they're women.
Well, that was the whole thing. When I was in America in the lead up to the election, like that was literally her biggest selling point, that she was simply a woman. The other one was she just wasn't Trump.
Yeah.
Good point. Thanks for the super chat there. Brad again, here we go.
Brett says Joel is king of the brow, Avi. Yes, we cannot compete with Joel's eyebrows.
I'm not even going to try, mate.
Anthony, thanks for the super chat. The next Prime Minister to be Matt Canavan. Yeah, look, he's a great individual, I think, Matt Canavan, and he carries himself really well when it comes to debating particular issues, and he's very clear and articulate on his position. You don't get the sense when you listen to Matt Canavan that he's dodging stuff and hiding stuff that he doesn't believe in or things that he doesn't want to say. So I like that about him.
Yeah, look, and I think the whole him running for the leadership was... I was looking at a bit of commentary on it, and from people on the inside that are saying that he ran it just to really bring up the net zero agenda. So, like, he knew he wasn't going to win it, but I guess that's potentially just speculation. Maximus just gave us $5. Thank you, Maximus. And then Maximus gave us another $5. So, thank you very
much. I think he's praying. He's begging us.
That was one of mine. That was one of mine, actually. I saw Maximus Decimus Meridius. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Twice for the one for each eyebrow. Maximus doesn't realize that you actually just have one eyebrow.
There's a gap.
Brett,
I would pay good money to put Abbie Chatfield and Clementine Ford in some type of USC fight cage or something and watch, even just to arguing with each other, talking. That would be a very.
It would have to come with like Panadol. Brett put a super chat, which Brett, thank you for all the super chats and thank you for all the support. I'm not going to put this one up on screen just because on some platforms it's unacceptable. He's saying to free somebody in the UK, a good friend of mine that on some of the chat platforms that this is being live streamed will probably get it pulled. But thank you for the support, and I absolutely agree with you.
You can't even say what his name. It's nuts.
No. Giovanni, thanks for the super chat, mate. $20. Thank you so much. Klebby is not the celebrity couple we need. They're the celebrity couple we deserve. Just like the Libs deserve Ley, but not Price. Yeah, I mean, Clementine Ford and Abbie Chatfield, whatever they've become, is a wider reflection on Australian society and where we are. That these are the people that, you know, on the left at least, that the Prime Minister speaks to when it comes to politics, is a reflection on the country of Australia. Like, this is where we're at. So good point there, Giovanni. It's
I want to give a special shout out to Giovanni because he's like one of the most. There's a few names, him and Brett, that come up all the time in these super chats, and we really appreciate it. The super chats on YouTube. So go to any of our channels. You can do it before we get to the bottom of the list. You are the guys that make this possible. The fact that we're able to, and I consider it unlike Abbie Chatfield. I do not think I'm better than any of you. And I really do appreciate all your super chats and your support because unlike Abbie Chatfield, I don't have big gigs on TV or the Listener app or whatever. We literally rely on your generosity. And even when I get as big as Abbie Chatfield, I will never act as big as
Make sure you buy me a car though.
Joel's
Get me a car
eyebrows.
when you become as big as when you become rich, buy me a car, buy Joel a car. That's the one nice thing that you could do. And you can use that.
You know what? I'll buy you a car, and I'll buy you like a nice Merc, and I'll buy Joel a bomb.
No, you're gonna buy
it'll be like a Mossad operation, like a Mossad operation. It'll come with a free beeper,
like the ones that were provided to ISIS. One of those Toyotas. I like it.
No, the beepers that were provided to your cousins in Hezbollah.
Taiwan.
Klaus Splatter says, thanks for the super chat, mate. Waiteroo is rising. Waiteroo is raising.
Am I missing a reference?
Waiteroo. I don't know, maybe Waiteroo, maybe Clementine thought.
Thanks for the super chat, Klaus. Maybe make him clearer, unless that's an inside joke between Klaus and Schwab.
It might be an inside joke.
Clementine Ford.
Cheers to all my haters.
Clementine. I'm feeling the love. I'm blushing. I'm your biggest fan. I learnt about you from Jane Aguritan. She hates you so much, and she enjoyed serving you court documents over your fence when you lived in Melbourne. So thank you for
that was a great video. I feel like that video deserves to come up on screen. Clementine, we really do appreciate you. And I've got to say, Clementine, I don't know if you watched the full video, just the full live, but as you can see from the three of us, I actually supported most of what you're saying. In fact, I supported both of you. Keep doing it. Thanks for the support.
Brett, again, thanks, mate. Joel did well on the SBS show, considering he couldn't speak racist.
Yeah,
I think he's saying. I think he's saying not that you can't speak, but you didn't get a chance to speak.
No, I know. Yeah.
I thought he meant like he couldn't speak because his eyebrows were in the way of the microphone or something. That too much of a wind.
It was a muffle. It was like
muffled. I love how you know what? I appreciate it because one of the things about Joel is always, and that's what I like about it, like when you can hang shit on yourself.
Mate, these are my opening lines to when I do a show. Like when we did the Nigel Farage show in Brisbane, we had a full white audience. I'm like, now prepare yourselves because a Lebanese man with eyebrows is about to out-conservative you. And it's literally my opening lines to stuff. So without the eyebrows, I got nothing.
Listen, otherwise it would be the elephant in the room. Like people would be like, are we not going to talk about the eyebrows?
You gotta talk about it really early.
Yeah.
This is a super chat from Shilby Apples, and she sent us $30 just to say Clementine. Thanks, thank you.
Yeah,
that's how we feel. That's how we feel.
Yeah, I do have to apologize to my audience. They're like, "What? Why is we've just come out of very high value election content from Joel? Why are we looking at this drama gossip girl stuff?"
Okay, you guys voted Labor in. You did, whether you voted or not. You did. So this is what you're going to get for the next 3 years.
This is the country now. This is what we are.
We can't beat them. We're joining them. Thank you, Danny, for the 99 cents. And Danny gave another one. For a second, I think he was testing because he started with 99.
Hands doing a high five. Thanks, mate. Hands doing a high five because when she's talking, when Abbie talks, she just talks like this, and she comes to the camera. She's like yelling at you through the camera. That's how she talks to the audience.
Danny, thank you.
When she does that, she just claps all clap together now.
Well, someone was asking in the comments, is she Italian? Is her background Italian? Because she does use her hands a lot when she's speaking.
Abbie Chatfield, is she? Look it up. Danny, thanks for the support. I'm guessing you tried it out once, and that was probably the first 2 super chats you've ever given. So I imagine. So welcome to the party, and thanks. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Danny.
What do we got? Catherine,
thanks for the super chat. I'd pay more, but need it for my popcorn. Too delicious. So Catherine was enjoying the unhinged meltdown by the darlings of the left, Clementine Ford.
And that's a reasonable excuse. Popcorn with the cost of living, thanks to those of you who voted Labor, is quite expensive now. So we totally understand, but appreciate the $2 because unlike Abbie Chatfield, we appreciate every one of you no matter what you give.
You know what I realized? $2 split 3 ways is $6.66, right? No, hang on, here we go. 66 cents each.
What's your point?
My point is, she's like, oh, here's the least amount I can give you. Split it between you guys, basically.
Mate, you're starting to really sound like Abbie Chatfield, who just doesn't respect your audience, that thinks you're above your audience, that thinks you're better than your audience, and that's looking for a lot of money so that you can buy someone a car. Shame on you.
I just think Catherine. I just think that what's her name? Jesus, she's irrelevant.
Clementine.
Abbie Chatfield. Sorry, Clementine. Yes, sorry, Clementine. I'm reading the comments, and someone said Catherine. I think Clementine is just. It's hilarious that she watched tonight and made it worth it.
I don't think it's her.
I think it's probably a fake Clementine account.
Come on.
Mind you, I wouldn't put it past either of those narcissists to be watching it, but that they probably are watching it, but they wouldn't put money into it. There's no way they'll let people know they're watching it.
Yeah.
Super chat from Brett again. Thank you, Brett. Loving your support.
Clementine said Israel women deserved it. She's hateful. I don't know if they're correct. Exactly. She said that. Did she say that exactly? I don't know for
I'm
sure.
not sure she said that exactly, but she certainly implied that, yes, because obviously people, and especially identifying feminists that happened to be Jewish, because I know when it all was unfolding, I was watching it. There was a lot of the controversy around the doxing, and Clementine had a big hand in that doxing of Jewish artists or whatever in that group. But a lot of Jewish identifying feminists were pointing out the fact that, hold on, I have always followed you and I'm a feminist. The thing is, even if you identify with the Palestinian cause, if you consider yourself a feminist, like two things can be true at once, right? So even if I think you're wrong about the whole, if you call about the whole Palestinian cause, if you consider yourself a feminist and if you've built your entire career about defending women, how can you walk past a day and you talk about believe all women and you know we have the craziest, the most bizarre nothing stories that they shout from they rally across the country about stories of rape where it was dodgy stories of perceived rape that was not as clear as day. And they rallied across the country about that and about how men are abusing women in this way. But then when there was clear rape, you couldn't sit there and say, that was wrong, that was horrible, I stand with the victims, with the women of October 7. And I also can have this other true reality. I also believe that the Palestinian people, but how could you not? I don't understand. Like, if you really truly believe in that issue, how can you not? Like, even if it's your enemy, if you've built your entire persona around standing for women, they expose themselves for what they are, and that's what I guess Brett's comment was about, is the fact that she did do that, and in a way, I'm kind of happy they showed their true colors, because we've always known that they're intolerant, horrible liars, and they don't actually believe any of the political nonsense that they stand for, including even the feminism that they claim is feminism. It's all about, it's always been a nasty, third wave feminism has been a nasty industry to hate a group of people, which was men, and now it's morphed into all these other things. Anyways, what do we got?
Shelby Apples, thanks for the super chat again. Abigail is in the circle while Clem is stuck in a state of arrested development.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's the point. And that's what she's jealous about. Brett again.
Brett, thanks again. Shame on you, Clem. Cheered on atrocities. I think Brett is not a fan of Clementine.
I don't think Brett likes Clementine. Brett, listen, Clementine gave us $2. Like, we get it. Enough.
Yeah.
Next thing we're gonna have is Clementine crying, doing another video about how she's being targeted by Brett because of us, and then we're gonna have to do another whole live stream about it. It's What do we got? Oh, wait, what was that? Ford speaks nonsense. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so from Ebony, thanks again. Ford speaks in nonsensical, academic-like spin. You do see that with Clementine Ford. She throws a lot of catchphrases in there, the things that they should, like, that you'd expect them to say. You know, you'll hear privilege. That word will come up a lot. You know what I mean? Like, and then she'll kind of go on a roundabout way about it. And if you're not really paying
they do use like word salads. They use word salads to sound intelligent while also hiding their agenda and hiding their hypocrisy. It's all intentional. Sisterhood. Brett must be laughing at a comment at the time, something about the sisterhood. Thank you, Brett, again. Brett, I love listen.
Brett's icon just looks like a Neanderthal child.
Looks like Abbie Chatfield in the morning, I think. That was the meanest I've ever seen Rukshan go. You dodged a bullet, Joel. Well, I don't know what he was referring to, Brett.
Maybe it was when I left the room.
Yeah. When you walked out, and but
I listened to the whole thing though, because I put my YouTube on when I leave.
So basically, did you go for a piss and listen to her?
Yes.
So was that during Clem or?
Mate, I don't know what it was, but I got an STD.
That was my next question. You might need to go to her. You might need to go to her therapist.
We both got we got the same fears.
The Forest Freedom podcast says, makes me ashamed to be a female. I think that's just a general reaction to watching the theatrics of both of them, especially.
Do you know what? I watch the Abbie stuff with my wife, who even gets madder than I do when she watches it. I don't think she can last as long as I can watching the full. Like, I watch the whole thing because to me it's just there's so many layers of the entertainment of it, like the internal leftist civil war, but also getting an insight to their projections, to how they think and what they're really saying.
You were like a schoolgirl when you saw the videos. You're calling me up. You're like, "Oh, have you seen the latest beef between Abbie and Clementine?" She sent me the videos. You're like, "Oh, watch this." You're like, "Oh, let's do a show about it." I'm like, "What? Really?" It's like, "Yeah, this is like the holy grail. This is it."
Clearly, you guys have been following this for a while. This is it. You have been following this.
I'm in. I love it. I love it, and I want more of it. I want to analyze it and break it down. Listen, I got expelled in year 8. I never got to enjoy the Mean Girls high school, and so this is my chance. Don't like it? Don't want to be here for the ride? Well, you don't have to be like Brett, but you want to be here. Everyone wants to be here.
Very funny.
I can smell Brett again. I can smell the cat pee.
Brett says, I can smell the cat pee through my phone.
What was that in reference to?
I think it's just in general, just listening to the...
Listen, and that wasn't enough for him, so Brett's gone.
Crazy, they're like crazy cat ladies.
Yeah, okay. Like that stereotype. Yeah, so much cat pee.
Okay. Can someone other than Brett leave a damn super chat?
Here we go. We've got
Brett could have done this all in $100, but he's like, no, let's dribble it.
Abbie, everyone who leaves a super chat gets. I don't care how many super chats they leave. I'll stay here all night with Rukshan. We appreciate every one of our supporters. I get it from that, up there in your ivory tower. It's hard to.
But we had a rule: everyone above $5 or something.
No, we did that when there was too many. There's not too many now.
Martin Gregory says, "How's the Serenity?" That's the line from The Castle, is it? Or
yeah,
I can't remember.
How's the Serenity from The Castle?
Yeah.
Here, Brett just did that to annoy you. Joel,
happy stuff. Joel, pay back the money you owe to Guru. I have no idea what's the about.
I feel Joel, like we've walked into something good here.
We've walked into some nuclear stuff.
Anything that has Guru's name on it is gonna. Do you remember that time in at the Canberra convoy where Guru and there was 3 of them that were trying to be in charge of the whole.
This is at the freedom protest in Canberra. Yes.
And then I came there and I was I was interviewing all the different people there, and then Guru came up to me losing his mind. They thought they were going to turn everyone on me, and at that time, everyone loved me because I was giving people a voice, the average person voice. It's like, yeah, I'm giving everyone a voice. He goes, yeah, but you need to come up to the stage and stream what we're saying up there. I'm like, mate, you've got 50 of your little streamers going. You don't need me. I'm here to hear from the average person. Anyways, what was this money that you need to pay back Guru?
I have no idea. I think he might be alluding to, and this is to give the most charitable interpretation without going on too much of a tangent. When the Don Jr. tour went belly up in Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne in 2023, we refunded. The ticket company, Ticket Bud, weren't refunding people. And so we started refunding people out of our own pocket. And so I've done, out of my own pocket, $200,000 worth of refunds.
How do you have $200,000?
Sorry, $200,000.
How do you have $200,000 in cash? You're such a wog. Was it was it under your mattress? Is that where you?
No. This is been over a year and a half. So it's little dribs and drabs, but it's because people thought that I took the money, but that's not how it works. You give it to the ticket company pays refunds out. But because the tour got nuked, I did a whole video on this a year ago. Because the tour got nuked, they weren't doing refunds, and people thought I took the money. I was like, guys, that's not how it works.
So the ticket company can keep the money if it gets nuked.
Stripe, yeah. So the Stripe account got cancelled. I think it was something to do with it being a Trump thing, like Trump Jr. And then so the promoter couldn't do refunds, and I was like, well, that's insane. I can't have my name being dragged into this and refunds not being processed. So I started doing it myself, and I mean, there's so many people that I've touched base with that I refunded. Now, look, if Guru was one of those guys, he should send me an email at contact.
Don't give Guru any money.
Don't give him.
That's no, but look, that is not going to be spent on anything. You're doing him a favor by not giving him more money.
Man, Guru's going to clip this video. He's going to clip this video and put it on his cast.
I am officially on the record saying, do not fund the habit.
Look, if Guru wants to get in touch and if he wasn't refunded, he's got to send me a ticket that wasn't refunded.
He can telepathically send you a message. It's Guru we're talking about.
Let me just give him an email and then we can move on.
What's the email?
Contact at tpaust.com.au. Send me an email, get in contact. I'll refund you like anyone else, but that's my money. That's not from where it should be from, which is the ticket provider.
How much was a ticket?
It depends on what he got. I mean,
Guru got the lowest level for sure. He barely got
he
got access to the toilets when you come in.
I got a funny Guru story. Actually, I'll just share it. So
this is the Guru time.
In Canberra at this same protest, I was actually doing interviews of people, and I was interviewing Guru, and I gave him one of those Rode mics, and I completely forgot about the microphone, and I'd lost it pretty much. A few months later, I'm watching a podcast.
Don't tell me he's got your mic on him.
He's got the microphone and he's talking about, I can't remember the exact way that it was framed, but the comment or in the video, they were talking about how Rukshan left behind his recording device to secretly record and to infiltrate and do whatever I was doing for whoever it was. So I just thought that was a funny story.
But he was showing it.
I don't know if you were showing it, but they were just talking about how I left my mic behind. So one of my microphones from that wireless set from Rode is actually with Guru still. So I've never got the microphone back. So that microphone might be able to cover the cost of the ticket.
I was just about to say, I think Joel's off the hook here. I think Joel's off the hook. Sell the mic and get your money back off that.
Rukshan, honestly, tell me how much the mic was. I'll deduct it off his ticket and I'll just give you the rest.
I reckon you can deduct about $60 for the mic.
Yeah, they're not cheap, those Rode mics. They weren't cheap back then.
It's one of them, but exactly.
Yeah, but that screws you. You got to buy another. Like you can even buy them separately.
I had to buy another set. Yeah, I had to buy another whole set just to
a whole other set, which was they're a few $100 those things.
$500 back then.
$500.
I'm not even joking. I'll give you the money, and I'll be like, "Yeah, you can pay him the rest."
But hold on. So,
no, look, I'm not saying that Guru took my mic on purpose. I left it on him accidentally.
Sure,
but after the passage of time, the story had turned into Rukshan left a listening device. And that wasn't like that was a time.
Those guys are the definition of cookers, right?
Everything was went through the trucks. Yeah, everything's a conspiracy.
Everything was a conspiracy. Like they were the biggest nutcases, and they tried to like stand over me at those events. And then when they realized, and when they couldn't get the crowd, because the thing is, they're not real leaders. Like no one was like they were trying to force people into following him.
I know.
And
they leached off Graham Hood's credibility and people like that.
These guys were horrible. And so now I want to understand, Rukshan. So instead of reaching out to you to send it back to you because it was an expensive piece of equipment, so they tried to turn it onto the.
He might have reached out to me. Look, I don't think he was coming from a bad place or anything like this. It was just a funny story.
But what do you mean not coming from a bad place? He turned the story into the fact that you were planting a listening device on him. Called a microphone. Isn't that the point? Like, isn't that the point of when you film him, you want to hear him?
Yeah, of course. I don't know why I forgot after.
Look, if he can have people comment here and say, "Joel, give Guru back his money," he can get in contact with you.
Okay.
All right, with the super chat.
Okay. So hold on, but I'm in charge now. So, Guru, you'll get your money back on the condition one, you send Rukshan back his listening device. He needs his listening device back. Or two, Joel will deduct the value of replacing the listening device and give it to Rukshan. And that's going to hurt because you are funding another listening device by Rukshan. Just let that sink in. They're out to get you, by the way.
We gotta wind this up.
We're almost done, mate. This is listen. If you're not having fun with us, you can leave.
She'll be Apple says this for Rukshan and his better angels or better angles. Angels?
We are now working out if Rukshan can spell.
Angels. That says angels.
Is that your final answer?
I don't know. I'm tripping out now.
Brett has come back with something more kosher, free yak. So, Avi, I know what you mean, mate. Absolutely with you. In fact, I think he's coming out pretty soon. What have we?
This is from Straya. Says, this is Ephesians 5:11. It's a Bible verse. There you go. You should look it up.
What's Ephesians 5:11? Do you know, Joel?
No, but I want to look it up now.
Is this a troll on us?
I'll tell you before I say it.
You don't say anything that can't go on stream.
Oh, it's a Bible, so.
Yeah, I guess. But who knows? It's not the Quran. If it was the Quran, it can't get cancelled. The Bible can get cancelled, so.
No, it's actually a good one. It's,
okay. So we never know. All these cryptic messages.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, and it's because it could be like one about from the Old Testament about slavery or something. It says, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Obviously, referring to the what's it called stuff.
To
Clementine Ford and
yeah,
Abbie.
Or maybe he's saying she should get that book for her massive library.
Mate,
the Bible.
Yeah, an extra book on the shelf.
Busking for rent this Thursday.
Busking for rent this Thursday at Woolworths, but he's still tipped us $2. Thanks, mate.
That one actually feels bad. Von, I hope everything's all right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. If that's that like you don't have to super chat if you're struggling to get rent. Don't waste your money super chatting, and in fact probably reach out to Abbie Chatfield. Apparently she gives her place for free. Sorry to hear, mate. We got 3 more.
This is from Richard McLean. He says, if Chatfield and Ford could step away from the moral relativism, it would do them a wealth of good. That's a very good observation.
Yep.
They try to tie everything into like how good they are, their virtue. They just can't help it. they just don't talk about the issue itself.
Yep. Two more.
Catherine again, thanks for the super chat. If you ever been on the receiving end of a lefty influencer's trolling as a little old nobody, you will find this really funny Clem versus Chatfield. That's true. Like,
it's so true. That's what I was saying.
Really interesting because we cop it from them all the time, and it's happened to us in our DMs and even in public, whatever, they do this, right? So to see them at each other and reveal the truths about what they're fearing about what the other person's doing to them shows the exact tactics they have no issue whatsoever using against an Avi, a Joel, or even myself. So this is,
and I've had their army of feminists come against me based on lies that they know about my ex relationship. So these people don't care. They have zero empathy for anyone else. If you're the enemy, the only difference now is that they view each other as the enemy. But thank you, Catherine, for that super chat. And here's our last but not least.
I'll leave this one for you, Avi. This is
any chance the Mossad influence helped Hamas on October 7? Absolutely not. That's a whole nother live stream in which we can break that down, but zero chance. And if you're stuck in a place on the internet that's convincing you that they did, I hope for your sake that you get out of that little rabbit hole you found yourself in. Well, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We got to on a Tuesday night.
Another one came through. Another super chat came through.
Brett doesn't want to, who is it? Oh wait,
D-Mac. Thanks, mate. We'll just put that up. Can we all acknowledge that the Chabby replied, "I'm an Aquarius," when her bachelor said he was an astrophysicist who listened to this tribe?
I remember that.
Joel made that point. Joel made that point.
We acknowledged it. And we acknowledged it and its ancestors, past, present, and emerging.
An end of welcome. What is this? What's that ceremony? Another super chat, Avi.
I feel like we're just getting paid to stay. From Made in Australia, screw the government, Avi. I agree with that sentiment most of the time. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be back on Thursday night. Rukshan and I have agreed to do this now Tuesday, Thursdays. Wednesday nights is my Yemeni Report at yemenireport.com, where I'm interviewing people that have interesting people at different times that have something important to say. Tomorrow I've got Alexandra Marshall, who's joining me to unpack everything we've seen with the election. And in fact, Rukshan, I was going to say to you, because I pre-record that's not a live one, we pre-record that, and something I found fascinating, which I think next week we're going to host a debate between Alexandra and Topher Field. With regards to, because what I found interesting, and this is just I guess a little sneak peek to our discussion, which I found with Alexandra, is she's actually against our preferential voting system. She believes that we need to go back to
first past the post.
Yes, because and what I find interesting about that is she makes really compelling arguments, and so does Topher.
Yes.
So we're gonna, but they both kind of want the same outcome, pretty much, to a degree, right? So we're going to host a debate between them, because I don't think that I think our audience would be interested in the debate, but not necessarily feeling super passionate about one way or the other. I was always someone that thought that I agree with preferential voting, but actually hearing her out today makes me question that. Again, it's not something that I'm like, it's not a hill I'm going to die on. I don't really, I really want to get to the bottom of what's better. So we'll host a debate in one of the podcasts episodes next week, or maybe we'll do a special episode for that. But Joel, thanks for joining us. You'll be joining us whenever.
Yeah, Tuesday or Thursday next week, guys. I'm looking forward to coming back. I'm not sure what we're talking about, but I mean, the news is ever evolving, so I guess we'll see how it pans out. But then after that, I'll be away for a month. But no, guys, I've enjoyed it today. It's been great. Plenty of laughs. And someone check in on Abbie and Clementine.
And guys, just to remind you before we go, whatever platform you're watching this on now, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button to ensure that you get notified from the platform when we go live. I want to make this something real in Australia. We don't have anyone on the conservative side that is doing live feeds. In fact, tonight we've got 12, we hit 12,000 on just a Tuesday night talking about two lunatics. But the idea in America, they managed to get real big, solid numbers. And yes, even tonight, that was the subject that we focused on, but we hit all the important stuff first. So we're going to do that. We're always going to unpack the news and then get on to either something a bit lighter or fun, or if it's just a night that's not appropriate. But we just want to get those numbers up. We want to have live feeds in Australia from the conservative side, libertarian, conservative side of politics, that are able to make a bit of a difference. Do not leave it to Abbie Chatfield.
Especially now, because I think people feel demoralized on our side after the election results. And a lot of people who were really active prior, talking about their aspirations for Australia and the issues in our country, have somewhat maybe gone quiet as well. There's a bit of fatigue as well, but we need to keep that up. So definitely I agree with what you're saying, Avi, that there's a space for what we're doing. And like you said, I am not a big fan of the topic today. I will be completely honest. Feels very gossip girly, but there were actually parts in there while I was watching it live with you and reacting that there were some truths that were revealed in a weird way about where our country is and where it's headed. So I think, we'll find obviously the news you said happens every day and something new comes up. So we're trying to react to those kind of stories, right? Whatever's big that week, we'll try to obviously talk about and try to get different guests in if possible. If not, you'll just have to listen to us three. The brown, what do they call us on the comments?
The brown amigos.
The three brown amigos. I don't know.
No, we'll have different guests from time to time. We had a heap of guests. The first one we did. We will have. I'm not super focused on the guests. It's more the content that I want to do, but we'll mix it up. If you have a guest that you think is important, that you want us to have, shoot us through messages. And thanks to everyone that's super chatting. Australia, I saw your super chat thing. Thanks. Thank you for supporting us. And guys, even if you can't afford to super chat or you don't want to waste the money on Rukshan, I get it. But you can support us by just sharing the feeds, hitting that notification button, spreading the word, and helping this grow into something even better. Love you all, and we'll see you, if not in the Mini Report tomorrow night, on Thursday night this week. Ciao for now. Good night.
See you guys.
Bye, guys. See everyone.